we can do it. But you also will be able, he will be able to hear your conversation. The TMO. That's all. Yeah, the
He
referee.
needs to be able to hear the TMO.
If I give him one receiver from that IFB, he will hear the TMO, but at the same time he will hear your conversation and him. He will be confused. This is the problem.
Well,
It's
if
fine.
he can't, if
Otherwise,
he
we
can't,
go without the
It's
TMO.
fine.
if he can't hear the TMO, it's a
fine.
disaster. So we're going to have to just deal with it, I think, aren't we?
Yeah.
So it really, between us, it's going to have to be.
I was here a few
only
months
comms.
ago, same issue, couldn't communicate, so
Yeah.
I just went without. Just,
So what do you want to do?
I'll
give
do
him
it
a
without,
receiver.
just,
Without?
yeah.
So
As
you're
long
not
as you
gonna-
can hear me, TV mic,
Without.
we can.
So hang on, what's this? What are you going to do?
So the TMO is not. I'm not going to be able to speak to the TMO, right?
Correct.
So just not have it.
You're not going to have the TMO.
Yeah, I just referee without the TMO.
The TMO can hear him, but he cannot hear the TMO because I don't have any. If I give him any.
So a few months ago, I could talk to the TMO here. But it was too faint, and it took too long.
We can give you a feed, but you'll hear all of us as well.
Yeah, I can't have that.
Can't have that?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, then we're going to have to go without a
Yeah.
TMO.
Yeah.
Okay, so
But I
need
can
to-
still put this, right?
Yeah, I need to give him.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
I'd like it to.
Marhaba, Masa Al-Khair wa Ahlan Bukum. Welcome and good evening. We're broadcasting to you live from the world-class, world-famous Seven Stadium here in Dubai. Conditions tonight are perfect, not very hot, not very humid, and a nice cool breeze in the air, which is going to be necessary because this will be one heated encounter between the home side, the UAE, and the visitors, the Sables of Zimbabwe. On behalf of the UAE Rugby Federation, wherever you are in the world you're tuning in from tonight, thank you for joining us. Get yourself comfortable, don't go anywhere. My name is Gareth Lewis and I'm here at pitchside with none other than Tara Kumi from the Phoenix and UAE and Carl van Rosenveld, former Dubai Exiles and UAE. Tara, let me start with you. There's few people around the stadium tonight that will be as familiar with UAE rugby as you are. How do you think it's going to go this evening?
Thanks, Gareth. Yeah, I think UAE's last opening game here was in the summertime against Malaysia. That was a big win for them. However, today's just going to be a different challenge. It's going to be very competitive. Zimbabwe are very physical. They have lots of experience on their side. So it'll be interesting to see who'll go the full 80 minutes, but I feel like Zimbabwe might have the edge over UAE on this one.
And Carl, it's been a few years since you've run out here before. And how's it feel to be back out here?
Yeah, it's always great to come down to the Sevens. It's such an iconic venue that's been hosting wonderful tournaments for so many years, and I think tonight's one of those wonderful games that we like to speak about. Zimbabwe coming here ranked the 28th team. They're taking on the UAE, and as Tara said, UAE, what a sensational year that they had. The last time they were on this pitch they were absolutely phenomenal, but tonight they're going to have to bring some serious performance. Zimbabwe come here, a lot of experience, a lot of players that are playing professional rugby outside of the country, so I think that UAE are going to have it all to do this evening.
Well, on that note, let's go now to a live interview we did earlier on with the UAE head coach, Jacques Benadi. Jacques Benadi, head coach of the UAE. Congratulations on your recent form, some great wins against Korea and Malaysia. How do you expect it's going to go for you today?
Yeah, it's been a long time ago, but we played some really good rugby against Korea and Malaysia, and we were very excited about this. Challenge. They're very high up in world rankings. They're 26, 27, where we're still there in 52 at the moment. So, but that's where Hong Kong is. They're around that level, and we want to play against teams at that standard. We watch them when we're playing in the African Cup, and they're a very good side. So it's going to be, I think, a big learning curve for us, but also a big challenge, and we want to compete today. So hopefully we can give them a good game and learn from this. And you never know what happens in rugby, isn't it? But the boys is well toughed up, and we want to go out and perform.
And of course, a little break since the last national games, but some of the players will have just played merely 3 days ago at the weekend. So how's the preparation been like in the camp?
Look, I'm going to be straight honest. It's not easy. We have a club is going full at the moment. It's West Asian Premiership. So a lot of our players played on Friday night, and we try to manage it to some of them just give them in 40 minutes, and hopefully that they will be all fit. There's quite a lot of boys who played rugby on the weekend for all their clubs. They're all club players, as we know. So it's going to be a tough one to manage them, and hopefully just the boys' legs will keep up. And especially it's a lovely night tonight, so I'm expecting a wee bit more open rugby, and that will maybe even be harder for our boys. But it's tough enough, but we worked really hard for this.
And certainly a few superstars in the team tonight, but where do you think tonight you'll be most dominant?
Yeah, I'm hoping that we can take him on that front today. We got a very strong pack. Scrummaging is really strong last year against Korea and in Malaysia as well. We mauled really well. So I think we definitely want to take him up there, and maybe playing in the first maybe 10-20 minutes a wee bit of pressure game. Put the ball up in the air and try them to make mistakes and see if we can rattle them a wee bit, and then when we attack maybe a bit closer first before we go outside wide. There's a few big boys, Pele is a big carrier at number 6. Like I said, a big tight 5. Number 8's a big man carrying really well. We got a few changes in the midfield and the back 3 as well for this weekend. So just excited about today.
Awesome. Well, best of luck, Jack. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
Cheers. Peter Benadi, head coach of the Sables, Zimbabwe. Congratulations on being African champions. You've had a great run of form recently. How do you expect today is going to go?
A big thank you, Gareth, and thanks for having us here. We had a good start to the year, a good July. So it's been a couple of months where the boys were separated and were able to go back to their clubs. But we're looking forward to, and certainly very blessed to get the group together. just the time together with the coaches and back together and getting these matches in certainly is going to help us in the future. So we're looking forward to the match, and hopefully it'll be a cracker.
And there's been a little bit of a break since your last game, so how's the preparation been like in the camp?
So I think the boys finished a club season, and the European boys returned to their club, so they're in season at the moment. So we've been trying to create some rugby back home, just playing against our under-20 squad. So we could be a little bit rusty, but I think the fact that we're playing rugby is just a win for everybody.
Yeah, awesome. And are there any superstars out there this evening that we'll be looking for? Any particular areas of the play that will be strongest today?
We've got a lot of our backline are let's call it survivors from the July Africa Cup. They did pretty well there, so we're hoping to just build on that momentum. We'll be up against a couple of big boys. Our forward pack need to front up against a team that mauls a lot and scrums extremely well. So those are amazing challenges for us. Obviously, dealing with the humidity is something that we're going to have to get used to. But all fun challenges and great opportunities to learn.
Brilliant. Well, best of luck today, Peter. Thanks very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Cheers. And that was Peter Bernardi there, head coach of the Sables. No relation, I'm told, to Jacques Bernardi, head coach of the UAE. I'm not sure I believe that, though. Let's have a look now at the 9, 10, 12 combinations on both sides. Let's start with the home side, the UAE. Tara, can you take us through the players?
Yeah, so at 9 we have Andrew Simple. So Andrew's a quite experienced player, great leader for UAE. He likes to play with pace and tempo. New combination here between him and 10, Andre Snetler. So it'll be interesting. He's in for Jamie Gavin. It will be key for them to manage the game today, play their structures, play through the phases, and work their patterns and systems. So I feel Andrew Simple has a big task in his hand today. Outside them is 12, Liam Caldwell. Liam has good experience with playing 7s and 15s, very powerful in attack. He can hit through lines, but a big defensive game is needed from Liam today, I think, out there. But he's definitely got the physicality for it as well for UAE.
Yeah, absolutely. And how do the Sables counter that?
Yeah, I think that's where all the play will happen today. Hilton Midakarik, I mean, he makes his 49th appearance for Zimbabwe this evening. He's a player with vast experience, international 7s player. So a lot of revolves around him and the team. And then Ian Pryor comes in the number 10 jersey. He's played formerly for the Western Force. So a lot of super rugby experience. And ultimately, I believe those two will control the game. And then at 12 this evening, it's Kutsi Shawi. Man's a tank. Massive carrying instinct. So he will give them a lot of go. I believe a lot of the game will be happening tonight. Ultimately, Pryor will put them in the right places, and then they'll play their set phases from there.
Awesome. Well, I'll leave you with this last question. Score predictions?
I'm not going to do it to UAE, but I think Zimbabwe are just going to be that bit more physical, and at the 80 minutes they will see.
Tonight, my heart's with the UAE, but my mind is with Zimbabwe, and I think at the end of the day, that must really be the safe money on them this evening. I reckon 15 points to Zimbabwe.
Well, on that note, Carl, I'm going to have to ask you to go to the commentary box, because I'm about to cross to the commentary team, of which you're a part of. It's going to be Pete on his own if you don't get there quickly. We're going to time him how long he takes to get to the comms box and see if he's eligible for selection again for the UAE side. So, players are getting warmed up now to come out, and we're going to get ready for the anthem. So let me cross you now live to the commentary box of Pete Stapley and Carl van Rosenbelt.
Well, good evening, everybody. Pete Stapley with you here in the commentary box. Good evening, everybody. Pete Stapley here with you in the commentary box. Just waiting for Carl to make his way up towards me. 5th of November. Remember the 5th of November. It is Guy Fawkes night, and I'm expecting some fireworks down there on the pitch tonight, down here at the Sevens. The UAE get things underway in the first of their matches in the UAE Autumn International Series, taking on the Zimbabwe Sables. We've just heard about some of the key players to watch. We've heard about the 9, 10, 12 combinations from both sides. Zimbabwe stacked full of talent. The UAE no shirks themselves. This is going to be one very interesting game. Sides making their way, getting themselves ready to come onto the field. I'll talk you through the starting lineups for the UAE. Peter Killian, Munib Gallant and Rian Barnard make up the front row. Strong, experienced players. Sakai Dranibota and Stephen Ferguson providing the grunt in the engine room, and Apeli Devawatu is doing as ever at 6. Matt Mills captains at 7. Ian Woods at number 8, very strong ball carrier. And Andrew Semple, we've already heard about his talents, and he's going to be having to keep the goal moving throughout the game. Andre Snetler making his start at 10. Toby Oakley out there on the wing. Liam Caldwell at inside centre. Saikasu Naisu listed help down there at 13, but I do believe that it's actually going to be James Crosley starting at 13 for the UAE. Justin Walsh on the other wing and Connor Kennedy at fullback. David Gairn, Lucas Waddington, Ewan McLaren, Chris McKee, Marcus Guerin, Aaron Dubois and David Evans making up the bench for the UAE, coached tonight by head coach Jacques Bernardi. We've already heard from Jacques and his thoughts on this game. Zimbabwe side on the front row, we've got Jovan Becker making his first start. Simba Mandioma at hooker and Manashi Mahere also with his first start for the Sables. Simba Mandioma, very well experienced with 48 caps. He's going to be bringing things together for the Sables in that front row, bringing on his 2 debutants to make sure that there's no loss of connectivity. David Makamba and Simba Saraha in second rows, and Dylan Utete on the flank. Godfrey Muzangagro at number 7, Tino Masaveri and Hilton Mudariki as captain for tonight. Ian Pryor at 10, Edward Sigakwe and Kudze Mashawi. Brandon Mudzikenyedzi, Trevor Gueri and Thaddeus Hawata making up the 15. Brian Chan, Tyron Fagan, Bonwell Gwinji, Nashaya Tarasenga, Kelvin Kananogo, Aidan Burnett, Keegan Joubert and Kyle Godwin making up the bench for the Sables. Carl.
Very good evening, Pete Stapley. Fantastic to be at the 7th Stadium once again for this international, the UAE taking on Zimbabwe. It's world ranked 28, taking on the world ranked 51st team, and a fantastic opportunity for the UAE this evening.
Absolutely, they've really got the opportunity to show what they can do on such a big stage. You know, they're playing a side that's ranked a good 20 odd places above them in the world rankings. Zimbabwe coming off a fantastic season, winning the African Cup for the first time for 10 years. In fact, the first time that Namibia haven't won it for 10 years, and Zimbabwe doing for Namibia in the semi-finals. The UAE, of course, with an outstanding performance of their own, first time ever beating South Korea. So both sides full of confidence, both sides full of passion, and both sides full of opportunity.
Yeah, and as you said, the last time the UAE were out on this pitch, they really had a fantastic outing against Korea. That, I think it was a 20-point deficit that they came back to win that international, and then a big finish to the Asian Five Nations where they beat Malaysia. But tonight they will have it all to do. Zimbabwe coming in with some fantastic form, having beaten Uganda, Namibia, and of course Algeria in that final of the African Cup to win it for 2024. We'll now be listening to the national anthems of the two countries. The head of Zimbabwe in rugby will be introducing the team to the various dignitaries. And you've mentioned the number 9, Hilton Mudariki. He will captain the team this evening. Makes his 49th appearance for Zimbabwe. And you've got a very interesting story about him, Pete.
Well, I know Hilton. I don't know Hilton as well as my son knows him, because my son used to live with him when they both played for Jersey Reds. Very interesting. Unfortunately, Jack not able to make it out for the UAE for this match. I'm unable to catch up with Hilton, but never know. Who knows what might happen in the future? Yeah, good friends off the field.
But and as you mentioned, Hilton comes in with fantastic pedigree, ex-Saracens player too, and of course has played international sevens for the Zimbabwean team. And then we look at the UAE team this evening. Quite a few exiles playing for the UAE this evening, and I think that's maybe a good thing for them, because ultimately a lot of players knowing each other.
Absolutely, I think that's out of the 23. I think there's 14 exiles. So the connectivity, the continuity, the opportunity to run things from the training ground at club level and bring that into international level, I think is going to pay dividends tonight for them.
Just one thing I wanted to ask you, and me and you commentated on the game this weekend. We saw Andrew Semple playing in the fly-off berth for the Abu Dhabi Harlequins. We see him again back this evening to his natural position, which is scrum-off, wearing the number 9 jersey for the UAE. Do you believe this is a big adjustment for him?
Oh no, I think he's an outstanding 9. I think he's an outstanding 9. I think we mentioned when we commentated on the game during the week that he's a player that can play in both positions. He's a bit French. He can do the jeu. He can jeu with the best of them. I'm just about to start the national anthem, so I'm going to be quiet.
Always a wonderful occasion for these players, Pete, representing their country and coming out to the UAE this evening.
Yeah, absolutely, and great to see support for the Sables in the crowd.
And now we'll enjoy the national anthem of the United Arab Emirates.
Great to hear the UAE national anthem ringing out around the Sevens ground.
It's always a great opportunity for these players representing the UAE, and they do it with such pride. This great nation, this wonderful country that we live in, the United Arab Emirates. And of course, it's now the coin toss. It is Matt Mills from the UAE captaining this afternoon, and Hilton Mudariki of Zimbabwe. Matt should know this ground very, very well. It's not the first time he's captained the UAE, and a lot will be expected of him in the number 7 jersey this evening, Pete.
Yeah, and while the coin toss is taking place, we'll just introduce the match officials for tonight's game. The referee, Morgan White. Assistant referee 1 is Jaco de Witt, and assisting him, assistant referee 2, JP Clemens. TMO for tonight is Simon Dodds. And our fourth official is Craig Williams. It looks like the coin toss has taken place. There's been decisions made.
Matt,
And it's going to be
ready?
Zimbabwe with ball in hand to
Hilton.
get us underway.
Green ready. Time your run.
Kicking by Ian Pryor now. It's taken in there by the UAE, and he's Andrew Simple.
Okay, wingers put them on inside.
In fact, that was Connor Kennedy getting a good touch finder just inside the half of the United Arab Emirates.
So a good opportunity
Here's your mark, keep them on you, please.
for both sides to test the line out. See. And the first one is spot on for the Sables. Try and carry up the middle from Mashawi. And the first long loud blast on the raised arm from the referee Morgan White, which indicates a penalty to Zimbabwe.
Number 8 off feet.
It's number 8, Jean Boertes, that was off his feet there, and ultimately the penalty awarded there by Morgan. You'll see that once again. He's asking questions. You believe he was pinned there, but you have to roll away, or at least make an attempt to roll away. And Jean Boertes, the Exiles, number 8, did not move away quick enough.
No, it's always difficult when you're constantly trying to get players in, you're trying to get more players in and around the ball, and if you're the first tackler and you get pinned in there by the rest of them as well, makes it even more difficult. So with the first kick of the evening, it's Ian Pryor, 14 years a pro down in Australia. The Reds, the Brumbies, but mainly with the Force, and the opportunity to take an early lead.
No mistake there by Ian Pryor. Draws first blood for Zimbabwe this evening. It's just under 2 minutes played in the first half. Yeah, it is Zimbabwe 3, the UAE 0. And that infringement there by the number 8, John Boertes, lying on the wrong side of the ruck, unable to roll away.
You can kick when you're ready, keep them behind you.
It will be the UAE's Andre Snetler to restart the match for us. He kicks in just under halfway. It's taken in there by David Makaba.
Back off
They've
green.
funded a little bit.
Ball loose on the floor, but it looks like it's been regathered by Zimbabwe.
Yeah, they'll take
Inside.
it up by Johan Becker.
Use it. Chasers
Kabi
onside.
looking for clean ball now. He pops it over the top. He's got a good right boot on him and finds touch just inside the half of Zimbabwe.
Now the box kick now such a dangerous weapon, especially now that players have got to clear the channel for the on-rushing players. There's no blocking involved.
One thing that referees have become strict on is the time that they allocate for players to get it out the ruck. I see quite a couple of scrum-offs in international rugby have been penalised for basically taking their time, so they're really pushing them to get the game going, which I feel is good.
No, I think it's a great thing. I think it's a great thing. The more we can play quick, fast playing rugby, and that one's poached.
Munib Khalan not quite finding his jumper there. Taken in by Zimbabwe. UAE quite quick on the loose ball there. Mukabi now, he rolls it out. That's into hooker Simba Madiome. He's a strong carry, is Madiome. But
And this time a high shot adjudged from referee White.
Yeah.
It's another penalty to Zimbabwe.
Okay. 8 high.
I think that's Stephen Ferguson wearing the number 31 jersey this
It
evening.
is indeed.
Oh, I'll tell you what, Pete. They really test our commentators, don't they?
They do indeed. They do indeed. Stephen Ferguson,
Here's your mark.
stalwart lock for the Dubai Exiles.
Stephen Ferguson, of course, working for MediClinic, the big medical group here in the UAE during the day, and a pro rugby player at night.
And learned his trade back home in Northern Ireland.
And then feeds that
His
fantastic
rugby
taken
trade.
by Zivasa. Plays it out there.
Strong carry through the middle. That's Mavaseri.
Gathered there by Justin Welsh, the big right winger of the UAE.
Taken
The
back.
UAE seem to have this under control. It's
Use
Simple
it.
now. Simple will play it short, taken in there by Munib Khalant. They'll look to recycle this
That's
quickly.
taken back again. Use it.
Big carry through the middle there from Mavaseri for the Zimbabwe Sables. Mavasari, of course, who plays his rugby in South Africa with the Hollywood Bet Sharks. So no stranger to contact and no stranger to big ball carries. He plays with quite a few quality players around him.
Absolutely.
On a week-to-week basis.
Fantastic take there by Hawate, the Zimbabwean fullback. But it's taken there by Manib Khalan. What can the UAE now? Rian Barnard, big crash running by the big prop forward. Simple now, looking for quick runners now. Get the ball moving, he goes out wide. It's played there, Liam Cardwell knocking that one on. And I think just catching him by surprise. Very unlike Cardwell, he's normally got very, very safe hands, but I think that ball just caught him by surprise.
Yeah, Liam Caldwell, a very experienced player. Just having half a look, seeing half a gap in front of him, and that one just dribbling forward from the fingers. He's going to be very disappointed with that, but there's plenty of time left in this game to make amends.
Yeah, great opportunity there for the UAE.
Square and straight.
Fantastic steal there by Manib Khalan.
Come on, let's go.
The big exiles occur.
Square and straight.
And this will be interesting, the first scrum of the game. Zimbabwe coming with some vast experience. Jovan Becker, Simba Madioma, and Munesh Mayer, that, as you say, applies his trade for the Pumas in the Curry Cup series in South Africa on the Titan. And they'll be taking on Peter Killian, Munib Khalan, and Rian Barnard.
Point!
Hilton Madaki to keep the scrum. He's waiting for a steady scrum. The ball goes in. Nice hold there. Picked up by Tino, the number 8, Madaki. He's looking for the inside pass there.
Yeah, nice little 8-9 back inside and then cutting back in off his wing was Trevor Goy.
Madaki once again playing deep now, bringing the backline players into play there. That's the 13th centre, Brandon Mujakenji.
Ball's there. Get the ball.
Referee says the ball's there. He's asking them to play. Hilton up, plays it out. Pryor, there's the experience. Justin Welsh under this one. He's letting it bounce now, and he gets the touchline. And that just shows you what 14 years of professional experience does to you. And Ian Pryor will be getting Zimbabwe into the right spaces this evening.
Yeah, absolutely. There really wasn't much space in behind Justin Walsh there, but Ian Pryor able to find the space, just enough meat on the ball to make Walsh have to turn and go back. And then not trying to risk fumbling that one, just seeing that one out over the line. So the UAE with the ball in hand at the line out, but they are only 7 metres outside their own try line.
They go to number 2, it's Matt Mills, but it's nearly intercepted there by Robert Mudaki.
It's interesting that pressure already in the line out from Zimbabwe, forcing the UAE to go to front ball early doors.
Yeah, Matt Mills normally as safe as a house there at number 2, but unfortunately under a lot of pressure in that line out. But it is a UAE scrum. They were quite steady in the first scrum, but they'll need a steady scrum now as they're looking to clear their lines. You mentioned the number 8 of Zimbabwe, Tino Mavesere, playing for the Sharks in the company of the likes of Sia Khaleesi, South African captain, Ibn Etzebet, and a couple of rugby legends in the Shark tank in the tail.
Stand up, please.
You really couldn't ask for a better bunch of blokes to learn your trade from.
Absolutely.
Both sides pre-engaged, okay?
So we're just going to reset that one. Referee just not quite happy that we were ready for the ball to go in.
Referee Morgan White looking for a steady scrum before Andrew Semple feeds this ball for the UAE. Rian Barnard will be looking to get a right shoulder now, really steady the scrum.
Point!
That they can relieve the pressure.
Set!
And looking at the way the Exiles backline are set up, they're certainly not looking for anything expensive from their own try line.
Welsh to carry now. Justin Welsh is a big carrier. On he goes.
He's made good meters.
And a penalty for the UAE.
And this time Zimbabwe guilty of not rolling away. So good work from the UAE from under their own posts.
For sure, and I think that's what Jacques Bernardi, one of the reasons why he's playing Welsh on the wing, is that's what Welsh can bring to you. He can get you that go-forward ball. He's a big lad. I think he's about close to 110 kilos playing on the wing this evening. And I tell you what, very, very difficult to stop when he does get the momentum going.
Oh, that's a great touch finder. Absolutely perfect. Just dropping into touch. Round about 2 metres outside. Oh, sorry, I should say 2 metres inside the UAE's half. Ball in the hand of Gallant. And this time he finds his man. Good work
Ipile taking that one up. Here we go. It's once again Gelant. Gelant running at the Zimbabweans. He'll do that all day long. Semple looking for his options. Playing to the open side. But a ball and all carry there.
Rather static when that ball was taken.
Use
So a
it.
little bit of confusion in the UAE attack there. They got opportunity. They can reset.
Jean Boertes taking it up for the UAE.
And there were hands on the floor in there.
Roll away
Well
first.
spotted by the referee.
Roll away.
Zimbabwe not rolling away as well.
Yeah, Kutsa Mashawi, the inside centre, not rolling away. And you see him looking up, asking, am I the guilty party? And the referee says, yes, sir, you are.
I think he's trying to claim that he's on honeymoon because he only got married last week, and so surely on honeymoon he should be allowed a little bit of leeway from the referee.
Pete, I have to agree with you. Yeah, I tell you, that honeymoon didn't last for long. He had an international rugby game to play in Dubai. But a big congratulations to Kutsa Mashawi and his missus on their marriage last week.
Yeah, absolutely. And what a good missus allowing him to come away and play rugby.
Yeah, I tell you what, he married the right lady, if you ask me.
Absolutely.
It's Munib Gelant once again defeated for the UAE. They'll look for a good platform to launch their attack. They've gone to the back. It is Matt Mills, the captain, taking it in a fantastic line up there. It's Gelant now, making the run. Ipile, should I rather say, making the run for the UAE. Semple now, looking for quick ball. He plays it out wide. It's ball and all tackle.
Advantage over.
Zimbabwe have hacked it through, and here comes the speedster. UAE secured that one.
It's well gathered there by Toby Oakley,
Counter-rock's good.
making sure he was good. But Zimbabwe, they're in numbers, affecting the turnover. Murariki setting play away again for the Sables.
Roll 20. Advantage.
Advantage to the
20
Sables. They're looking to bring this out quick now. That's Pryor. Pryor will sum up his options.
Hold
There,
through,
puts the
back.
Again,
rubber
the stab
kick.
through.
It's chased there by the outside centre,
No advantage.
Brandon Mudazeki.
Just knocked forward as he went to collect that one, but the referee going all the way back for the original advantage. Pryor taking every opportunity for that little
20,
kick to
roll
nothing,
away.
stabbing the ball through, trying to set players away, knowing that he had one in the bank with the penalty already awarded.
Pryor in the first 11 minutes of the game has really showed his class. You can just see the experience coming through. Just seems to know when to hold the ball, when to, put the back line into play, when to put the kick through. A very, very, very talented number 10 from Zimbabwe.
Absolutely, but it's that last couple of minutes of play. Nice passage of play for the UAE. Good, solid line-out ball. Great little grab and peel off the back. And then making good meters. It was just that last pass that just did not find the hand
So whistle.
that affected went to turnover to Zimbabwe. But
Just wait.
positive signs for
Come
the
in
UAE.
first.
Yeah, Pete, I think as you mentioned,
on.
it's vital that they get those big runners like Munib Gelant, Jean Boertes. They really need to get them running at the Zimbabweans. Feed the ball. Fantastic take there once again by Simba Sahar. Drive now by Zimbabwe.
Stay bound 8.
Referee asking number 8, Jean Boertes, to stay bound.
Advantage.
Advantage once again to Zimbabwe.
Advantage 9.
What can Hilden
Eight for
Mudaraki do? He plays it out wide now. Squeeza. The long ball, but
On
it's
post.
intercepted.
No advantage.
This time Pryor guilty of trying to be a little bit too much. And that ball poached in
Time
the
up,
middle
please.
as Conor Kennedy looked
Yeah,
to
Matt.
try and come through, but the
Matt.
play was under advantage, so
So 3
it really
penalties
was a
now.
shot to
All
nothing
against
from
number
Pryor.
8. Not rolling away.
Andre
off feet
Snetler
in the
is
last
summing
one
up
is
that
passing.
situation well,
Just
but
have a
just
look
no
at it,
advantage from the previous infringement.
And referee Morgan White having a word with Matt Mills to pass the information back onto his side. That
please. Time on.
that's a few
Collapsing,
too many
number 8.
penalties within the first 15 minutes of the game. And we really don't want to be seeing
Okay.
anybody sitting
On the
down for
line.
10 minutes. So
Yeah,
please,
he's
lads,
down the
sort
line.
it out.
Pryor putting Zimbabwe into a fantastic attacking position now. It is Simba Madioma to feed this line out. Where does he go? Once again, he goes to the middle of the line out. It's taken in there by Simba
Advantage.
Saraha.
31 in the side.
Advantage once again. Zimbabwe.
That was
No advantage. Knock on. Time
number
off.
31, Stephen
31.
Ferguson, for the UAE,
31
guilty of
in the
coming
side.
in from the side. And just as we said,
31.
the next
side.
infringement was going to be a penalty.
31 in the side.
Stephen Ferguson
You ready? Wait,
will
just
be
wait,
in the
just wait.
sin bin for 10 minutes. You heard that from the referee entering from the side. And it is Ian Pryor finding the touch finder for Zimbabwe. They've been using Simba Saraha quite a lot in the line-out. They call him the Lone Wolf.
It's fine, it's okay.
And he's got a fantastic jump on him. This time they've gone to David Makamba. The drive is on for Zimbabwe. This is where they're very strong.
Don't pull, don't
It's
come
controlled at the back there by Simba Madiome. The ball is turning. Good defense by the UAE.
That's great goal line defence initially, but then illegally, says the referee, as the UAE are judged to have brought that down illegally and collapsed them all.
See his number. Just wait. Collapsing.
Penalty try
Collapsing
awarded
prevented the probable try. You.
by referee White.
I think he's issued another yellow card. There it is. It is the number 6.
I think he has indeed.
Ipile Davatawuli. And ultimately the UAE, within 1.5 minutes, have got 2 players in the sin bin. Morgan White very, very strict on the player coming in for the side and stopping the momentum.
So for the next 10 minutes, the UAE down to 13 players and looking at the wrong end of a 10-point deficit.
Over there.
My apologies, it's just 2 lock forwards that are in the bin. It's Sakaya Dranibota that is in the bin with Stephen Ferguson. So the UAE down to 13 men now. Kick-off, and Zimbabwe surely will run this.
Inside!
Robert McCarty, he's got such a good right boot on him. Finds a fantastic touch finder just inside the half of the United Arab Emirates. And I must say, Hilton Budariki has shown in the early stage of this game how he does control things for this Zimbabwean team. Currently the African champions, beating Algeria in the final to be earning that crown.
Yeah, we were given a little bit of information before the game of players to watch, and Hilton Budariki,
2 meters, you need to be 2 meters back.
the first name on that list, the most experienced player on the park, as you said earlier on, making his 49th start for the Sables.
Where does Manip Galant go? He goes to the back to Jean Boerda's tap there. Andrew Semple, now Snetler, bringing in Apile. Apile can make meters. He's stopped in his tracks.
Top roll.
And a penalty
Top roll
for Zimbabwe. And I tell you, they seem to be celebrating that tackle on the big man. The Fijian wrecking ball went to the under-20 World Cup. Did Apile, and we know how he carries for the Exiles every weekend, but you see that going into power. And a massive hit there on him.
It's a great shot from Mandioma, another man with great pedigree playing for Zimbabwe, also with 48 caps to his name. That door was remaining firmly closed in the middle of the park, and as you say, big celebrations from the Zim players.
That was a massive, massive hit, because the Fijian wrecking ball is no small man. That I can assure you.
Especially when he's got opportunity to get picks up after about 12 yards.
It's that man that made that fantastic tackle, Simba Madioma, to feed the line out.
More!
Great work. Right, rising high.
Still at the front.
Taking that one.
Of course, Zimbabwe here with 2 extra men and making it count now. But fantastic
keep it up.
defense there by the UAE, really getting stuck in. Rian Barnard, some great work there by him. Robert Mudaki playing it out. Zimbabwe bring it back in there through their number 7 flanker, Godfrey. Godfrey's taking it to ground now. Untidy ball for Zimbabwe, playing it out wide. Number 14 winger, got a bit of pace.
Wonderful pickup right off his ankles from Trevor Gouwe.
And from the ball carrier,
have a little
back to the
flying
tackle.
pass. Ball dipping right in front of him, but the referee bringing play back. Trevor Gouwe scored twice in the final against Algeria in the Rugby Africa Cup earlier in July, helping Zimbabwe secure their first title for quite some years.
Yeah, he definitely does not struggle in the pace department, is Trevor. And we had a little glimpse of it there. I thought he was through for all money, but earlier infringement.
And a good touch finder for the UAE. Play up just outside the 10 metre. Ball in the hand of Gallant.
UAE in, please.
Where does Manip Galant go? Not too many options in the lineup. Both these locks are currently sitting in the sin bin.
Oh, he's blocking now.
Gone short.
There we go.
And you heard there bocking.
Hooker, balk. It's clear free kick.
Free kick to Zimbabwe.
So no scrum option from a free
So
kick.
of course no opportunity to take a
It's
scrum
a free
these
kick.
days from a free kick.
Dummy throw. Yeah, no scrum, you must tap.
You heard the rules that they have to tap it. They cannot call a scrum. Robert Mugabe, he takes it in. Great run there by Zimbabwe. A big, strong run there by Munash Mere. Brings it out once again. It's the hooker, Simba Madioma, making the meters now for Zimbabwe. Pryor looking for his backline players. Swings it out wide. This man is absolutely deadly. Brought down to ground. Wakabi looking for quick ball.
Sigake, and that ball just have gone backwards from the hand, so UAE with opportunity to clear.
It's a fantastic recovery by the UAE and a wonderful, wonderful kick there.
Yeah, it's a great kick from Toby Oki and a good kick chase as well. That one judged to
I thought
perfection.
he started on and then you picked it.
A lovely recovery there by the UAE.
I thought the timing was okay.
They were under severe pressure, and Toby Oakley, a very, very educated kick. I tell you what, he landed that on pinpoint and won the UAE some valuable meters. Those of you that have just joined us, a very good evening to you. The UAE are currently down to 13 men, 2 men in the sin bin, and just over 18 minutes played in this first half. It really Zimbabwe leading the UAE 10 points to 0.
And with only 13 players on the field and the amount of possession that Zimbabwe have had, I think the UAE are doing a very good job to keep the score to where it is. And they've been defending like stalwarts at the moment.
Better work here for Kennedy. It is Toby Oakley that picks up. Kennedy with a lot of time now. You'll look to put a bit of interest on this one, and he does. It's a wonderful kick there, but it's a quick throw in by Zimbabwe, and this is where they're very dangerous. A lot of 7 specialists in the team, and it is Edward Sigawe that gets it, playing out wide now. Fantastic pace there. Edward Sigawe is the man that I spoke about. Look at him. Look at him go.
Great upper body strength as well to make sure that that ball was not ripped away as he jumped and span away from contact.
Pryor looking, Jovan Becker now making a big run there onto his hooker, teammate Simba Madioma.
Great drive from Becker, making his first start for the Sables.
Pryor out wide, there just seems like there's too many men. It is Godfrey, what a run by the number 7 flanker. Power and pace, and he's silencing all the fans with a fantastic try there for the big loose forward of Zimbabwe.
Power, pace, and no little skill. Lovely step off his right foot to come back inside. And then great reach. Fantastic work.
Class act there by Godfrey Musangarwo. Plays for the Falcons in South Africa, is his big number 7. And as you say, showing some fantastic feet and a wonderful handoff to score Zimbabwe's second try of the evening.
Yeah, that was absolutely great work. And as you say, numbers tell. As you say, it doesn't look like there's an overhang of numbers. It's 15 against 13 at the moment. It will be for the next few minutes. So Zimbabwe taking full advantage of the extra men. The UAE defenders being stretched all over the field.
Ian Pryor now to see if he can add the extra 2 points. Lovely strike there by the fly-off. Fantastic strike there by this fly-off. Adds the extra 2 for Zimbabwe.
Yeah, wonderful work. Didn't look like it was going anywhere else and right between the posts. So great work from Pryor, following up that try from Muzangarwo. Zimbabwe looked like they could be about to cut loose.
Rani Bota and Ferguson in the sin bin for the UAE. They just got over 2 minutes left to serve their punishment. And the UAE will be taking their time now to restart this game as they're looking to get their full fulfillment of players. It is Andre Snetler to restart. He will kick off once again to the left-hand side. Goes midway. Taken in there by Zimbabwe. Great run once again.
Oh, that's wonderful work.
The number 13 centre, which is Brandon. Becker taking it up once again. Strong run there by Becker. Bringing Pryor into play. Pryor looking for his backline players now. Pass over the top. It is the winger, Edward Garawi, that kicks it forward. Justin Welsh now gets tackled out.
Walsh did well there to
behind the mark
under severe pressure. But it seems every time the ball gets in the hands of Zimbabwe centres Mashawe and Mudzikiniadzi, they're making meters and punching holes through a rather overstretched UAE defence.
Come off. Time off. It's come off.
That extra couple of minutes can't pass soon enough to get players back on the field for the UAE.
Yeah, time's off.
Referee seems to be having a few headphone problems.
Just keep swallowing it.
We're competing in the line now.
Yeah.
Regardless, we're in the air. If it's going straight to them, that's
Okay,
got to be
okay.
not straight. You
Okay,
need to keep your eye on it. Okay, because we are trying to get it here.
Okay, thanks.
It's just going straight to their hands. It's not down.
Matt Mills having a conversation there with the referee, I think about throwing in straight, Pete, if I overheard him correctly.
Yeah, I think it was a mixture of throwing in straight and just sort of making sure that the referee's happy with the competition. That when the ball's coming in, that the UAE are being adjudged to be competing fairly and not getting over-penalised.
We've seen a couple of runs here by the Zimbabwe's number 11, Edward Sigauke. Deadly, fantastic feat, played in the Under-20 World Cup, and I tell you what, he's a star of the future.
He is indeed. He's currently training with the Sharks, in fact, and won the Junior and the Senior Africa Cup as an Under-20. Went away the Under-20 World Cup and a National Sevens player, so he's almost got the whole pack of cards in his locker.
Yeah, fantastic resume for a very, very young man, and as you said, now applying straight at the Hollywood Bets Sharks in South Africa. We see him there, just so composed, so much time on his hands, and Welsh is a big man. Putting him on the ground there is Edward Sigauke, and I think he's got a bright future ahead of him. Is this young winger from Zimbabwe?
Yeah, a lot of the Zim players playing their trade in South Africa. Quite a few of them playing as well across Europe, and obviously the guys who are playing in Europe are, they've already started their season. They've got game time under their belt. A little bit like the guys playing in the UAE, but probably more game time if they're playing, playing in the UK, playing in France, playing in Italy, wherever it might be. So the opportunity to be getting rugby minutes, before such a big international as this is vital for the sides. And the guys who are playing down in South Africa, obviously in their off season at the moment, but still absolutely full of running.
Yeah, you mentioned it earlier. A lot of the Zimbabwean-born players do end up at the Sharks. The most famous one, of course, the Beast, as they call him, Tarawera, that won the 2019 World Cup with South Africa in Japan. He's just one of those success stories. Came to the South Africa as, I think, a doorman originally, and ultimately became one of the greatest loose-head props in the world. And I think he also helps a lot of the Zimbabweans with the feeder system, getting them into the Currie Cup or whatever provincial position they could play. You take, for example, Jovan Becker, the loosehead prop for Zimbabwe tonight. He plays for UCT, which of course is the University of Cape Town in the Varsity Cup, which is a very, very competitive competition. So these guys are getting exposed to big competitions week in and week out. It's time on once again. The referee seems to have his headphones sorted out. It is Simba Madioma to feed the ball. He goes high once again. Picked up there by Tino. This man can run. He's got a lot of gas.
Oh, lovely offload as well.
Backwards.
Pass goes wild. UAE looking to recover now.
Six,
The
high.
first offload was great out to Mashawi, but the second one just a little bit too ambitious. Wonderful run from Mavaseri, as you
If
said.
it's inside shoulder, I'm playing on. It's
He
only if it's
really is a
outside.
quality player.
Yeah, Mavaseri, a lot of pace for a number 8. Touch finder there by the UAE. 21 seconds left before the two players, or at least Ferguson, can make it back onto the pitch.
And considering they've been down to 13 players, I think the UAE have done very, very well to only concede the single converted try.
Yeah,
of course, the penalty try was what led to the initial.
Fantastic take there by Mills. It's Caldwell now, looking to get some momentum for the UAE. Quick ball for Simple. Ipile now. Bounces off the first man, gets the ball back quickly, and that seems to be unfortunately knocked on there by Joan Bertus.
It's a knock on.
Yeah, I think the initial knock on was from Zimbabwe,
rights to it, but not
just
the
as he went to poach the ball. Good to see Caldwell getting the opportunity to have a run. He was rather chopped down by Musaveri in the middle.
Jean Bertus claiming that came off his boot, that he didn't actually knock it on, but the referee, Morgan White, saw that otherwise. And the subs, it's Ferguson coming back onto the pitch for the UAE, and it seems like there's an early sub, number 18, which is Ewan McLaren, that is coming onto the pitch for the UAE.
Ewan McLaren almost returning home. He was did a lot of his early school years out here in the UAE in Dubai. Went to be an English-speaking school, and then left to take up. I think he went back to sixth form. Back to the UK, and really went from strength to strength once he'd gone. Ended up captaining Scotland under 18s, played Scotland under 20s.
All right, so 2
And
times.
now plays his rugby in the Scottish Premiership for Heriots.
Of course. You must
So
be
good to
patient.
see Ewan back in the UAE and back on a rugby field.
Yeah, as you mentioned, it's always good to see them come home, because this is where these youngsters have grown up, learnt the rugby trade. I recall an 18-year-old Justin Welsh playing with me at Exiles in the lock position, and now he finds himself on the wing for the national team. But as you say, fantastic rugby institutions here in the UAE where these youngsters have learnt their trade over the years.
And you know, that sort of synergy, that opportunity to move between forwards and backs when you play your rugby out here, I think it's partly to do with the fact that the pitches that we play on out here are in such good condition that if you're going to become a forward, you've still got to be able to run, you've still got to be able to move. The game is played so quickly. I can remember taking teams back and playing back in the UK on, you know, sort of fields where you feel as though the cows have just come off and it's inches thick mud. No opportunity to run the ball, but out here, you've got to be able to play. And that one just going through the hands.
That was a very interesting tactic by the UAE. A free kick, so they couldn't kick to touch. It was Toby Oakley that kicked a massive spiraling up and under. And
just going through the hands of Thaddeus Hawata.
Yeah,
he was unable to pick that one. That came down with snow on it.
That was a massive Gary Owen, and the way he got the spiral on it was quite interesting. But it's a scrum for the UAE now. Semple's got a big blind side to work with. He's also got a big number 14 winger that he can play. Be interesting to see which way they go now. John Boerdes at number 8 looking at options too. They'll need McLaren to get them a big right shoulder now. Steady scrum by the UAE now. Fantastic scrum by the UAE. They're driving them forward now. Wonderful scrum. Semple. He plays Snetler now. Codwell out wide. It is Connor Kennedy putting through the grubber. It's chased by Oakley. Does Oakley have enough speed? Can he get there? Oh, the ball wins the foot race. That was so close for Toby Oakley and the UAE.
Just a fraction too much meat on that ball as it went through. Wonderful speed from Oakley as he was advancing. Good hands from the UAE.
Oh, Pete, I tell you what, if that try line was 2 meters further, Oakley would have been in for all money. He definitely had it on the Zimbabwean winger there, but it is a penalty to the UAE.
So the introduction of McLaren coming on for the UAE, potentially making the difference in that scrum. Different scrummaging techniques, obviously slightly catching the Zim players rather napping. Penalty to the UAE, opportunity to get points on the board.
Yeah, it is Andre Snetler that will go for goal. The Exiles at number 10. It's about 25 meters out in front of the posts. Snetler now strikes it, and he pulls it just to the left of the post. Never seemed quite comfortable with that strike. Not good contact from Snetler. Very unlike him.
Yeah, very unlike him indeed. The ball sort of, as you say, rather in front of the post, probably around sort of 30, 35 metres out. Normally he would slot those every day of the week. Maybe the pressure of playing international rugby at home.
Yeah,
getting first points on the board.
You could be right about that, Pete. These lads under a lot of pressure to perform in front of the home crowd. Codwell now.
Well gathered.
Liam Codwell, what can he do? He's looking to take it into contact. Not afraid of contact is this man. Semple will look to bring in his runners now. There's McLaren. Pops it up wide. Fantastic offload there.
Wonderful work between the front row.
Beautiful run by the UAE now. Semple looking for quick ball. Looking for his runners once again. Snetler now. Brings into play. That's McGee. Big tackle on McGee. Snetler once again looking for the ball. Comes wide. Welsh now. Welsh has knocked that on. It is Zimbabwe. What will they do? They'll counter-attack. Mwiti playing it out wide now. They've got runners on the outside. UAE will have to get the defensive lines back in place. Outside runners calling for the ball there. It looks like number 13, Brandon Motsugewe. Good tackle. Cover tackle by the UAE. Mudareki. Pryor now. Spreading the ball wide. Mashawa. Here's the danger man. What can he do?
Lovely
he can make
little hop
meters.
step.
That's what he can do. Inside, outside. Passes inside. Zimbabwe, it's glorious rugby.
And it's Captain Hilton Mudariki that takes grateful possession of the ball as that one's floated in towards him for probably one of the easiest tries he's going to score in international rugby. He gets his name on the board. Wonderful play from the Sables. Absolutely fantastic from Edward Sigake down this near side. We've mentioned his name a couple of times, Carl.
Oh, he's wonderful, isn't he? The magic feet, the dancing feet. Unbelievable, in, out, draws the play. He then, of course, plays Thaddeus Hawate, the fullback, inside. And then, as you mentioned, Hilton Mudariki, not much for him to do except put the ball behind the post. Fantastic interplay there. But I think the UAE would be upset with themselves in a fantastic attacking position, losing that ball forward. And this is what Zimbabwe do. This is how dangerous they are. They've got all these runners and playmakers and ultimately punishing the UAE.
They are, absolutely. The UAE, as we mentioned earlier on, sort of managing to defend in the set play reasonably quite well. You know, managing to keep the door closed, even when they're down to 13 players, up to 14, back up to 15. They're still keeping the door closed. But as soon as you get that broken play, once attack gets turned over into defence, you've got players out of position. They're not expecting to get turned around, and all of a sudden, there's 5 more points up against you.
Here's 5 more points, and it's that man, Ian Pryor, the man with the educated right boot, that adds the 2 points for Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe leading this fixture 24 points to 0. We just got over 30 minutes played in the first half, and Pete, as you were saying a little bit earlier, I think the UAE definitely they need to try and keep this a little bit tighter, and ultimately at those vital stages just cut out the errors that they are making.
I think you hit the nail on the head with the word errors. I think it's just errors at those vital times, whether the pass is just not quite going to hand, whether the ball is just being dropped at the moment, getting turned over in the tight. It's just having that ability to perhaps play with that little bit of extra time in your own mind, not rush things, keep possession of the ball. Easier to sit up here in the commentary box to say, more difficult to do down on the field, but it's where they need to be. They need to make sure that they're defending, their systems are in place, they're not losing contact with the players outside them, and not giving Zimbabwe the opportunity to cut through easy gaps.
No, fully agree. And I think what's hurting the UAE this evening is that rush defense of Zimbabwe. They seem to be smothering them, especially very, very close to the mauls, and those big runners like Jean Boertas and Apili just not quite getting the momentum that they used to.
We've seen it a couple of times. We've seen Boertas and Apili manage to get hands on the ball and make good yards. We've seen Caldwell the opportunity to make sort of 5 yards, trying to burst through a tackle, but it's just bits and pieces at the moment. There's no continuity because them are, as you say, smothering them, putting pressure on them, cutting off the options. That sort of umbrella wrap-around defence that they're employing as well, making life very, very difficult for the UAE.
And before we even started, we spoke about the 49th capped Hilton Mudariki this evening, and my word, he's been sensational. He's been everywhere. He's controlled the game so well, and he brings so much energy to the team.
Oh, his link play's been absolutely fantastic, but the linking between himself and Pryor, that 9-10 axis, and the ability when you've got such devastating runners in the centres as Mashvawi and Mutsi Kenyadzi, it's going to keep coming. It's going to keep coming. UAE not knowing whether the ball's coming out the back, whether it's coming on a crush ball through the middle, whether somebody's running a hard line. But yeah, that link between the two of them.
Kick-off now, going on to Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe tap it back. It is the UAE that's regathered this.
Looked like Ferguson claiming that one back on the field and claiming the ball from the line out. McLaren, good hit up and well presented the ball back. So UAE opportunity to run again. Boertas into contact. That's McLaren making yards. He's made a nuisance of himself since he came on the field, but that one rather loose as it was presented. Knocked forward by Zimbabwe, so playing under advantage to the UAE.
Picked up by Jean Boertas, the powerful run by the big man. Simple now, looking for his runners. Plays it out wide. That's Crosley. Crosley taking it in for the UAE. They need support. It's a penalty advantage for the UAE now. Morgan White, quick tap there by Semple. Looking for support.
Going quickly, but almost getting isolated.
Jean Boertas, he's the man that initially made that first run. Semple now. Knock on, or knock backwards.
Well, now the referee seen penalty infringement against Zimbabwe. Offside in the middle against Zimbabwe. So penalty to the UAE. An opportunity with around about 8 minutes to go in this first half. And choosing the shot at goal.
Yeah, you think that's a wise decision. Just get some points on the board, get a bit of momentum. And I think, you know, the minute as a player when you see points on the board, you definitely feel a little bit more confident, don't you?
Absolutely. Get some points on the board before you go into the shed. And as we've said that, I think there's been a decision. I think they changed it. No. Maybe a bit of conversation between the UAE players as to, I thought we were going for the corner, but I think it had already been called. I think Matt Mills had already pointed to the posts. And referee Morgan White had given the signal. So once you've made your choice, and you've said you're going for post, you've got to follow through with it. So opportunity.
Yeah,
Snettler for Snettler.
Yeah, he'll be looking for a much better strike on this one, won't he? That first one, a bit like a punchy wedge shot that he tried to play. A much more confident strike there by Snettler. That's the man we know.
Lovely swing of the boot. Right through the middle. So the UAE with the first points on the board in this game, getting themselves 3 points to Zimbabwe's 24. But good to see the UAE getting off that egg.
Yeah, just a reminder, if you have joined us, the UAE were down to 13 men for 10 minutes of this first half. That really did hurt them. It's Ian Pryor now to restart us. The Zimbabwean fly up. He goes quite deep. It is Connor Kennedy under that one with his left boot.
Well gathered by Kennedy, but that one rather slicing off the outside of the boot. Play is just outside the UAE's 22.
Yeah, that's not Kennedy's usual high standards. Just unfortunately coming off the side of his boot there. And Zimbabwe in a very good position now. Their line-out has worked very, very well this evening.
Their line-out has indeed. The line-out's been spot on. They've moved their jumpers around as well, which has been interesting.
And it goes there, it's short. It is somebody, and the referee's calling them back there. I think that could be 4.
I don't think that went 5. So they're going to, as we said, just as we were saying, they're moving their jumpers around. They go for the short, little funny one at the front, and then the pop back outside. But that one judged not to have gone 5. So free kick. I think that was picked up by assistant referee on the far side, Jaco de Wit.
Tobias kicking that one, didn't quite get the spiral on it. Zimbabwe taking it in. It is the right winger, Trevor Germer, taking it up. Big hit there. Looked like Jacques Boutis that put that hit in. Medikina taking it up. Lovely tackle by Matt Mills. Hilton Madeke playing wide now. Now he brings the centres into play. This is where Zimbabwe are dangerous. But a lovely spot tackle there by the big man, Justin Welsh. Asked to release. Hilton playing now. There's the try scorer, Godfrey. Udariki now plays it out wide. This is Pryor with that educated right boot. Looking for space. Connor Kennedy beautifully positioned and calls the mark.
And just inside his 22 to call that mark.
He knew exactly where he was on the pitch. A fantastic call there by the UAE fullback.
Yeah, great awareness of whereabouts he was and where he was moving to. That's a much better kick.
Much better strike there by Connor Kennedy. And I've got to compliment him on his positional play there. As cool as a cucumber under that one, calling the mark. Zimbabwe in the half of the UAE. It is Simba Madioma to feed this line out.
Interesting to see how Zim play this one. They've been running lots of hard lines off the ball, often coming out the back, missing out centres and sort of wrapping around. So let's see which way they're going to go at the moment.
It is Simba Sarara. Here they bring in the big number 12, and this is what he does all day. Mashawa, very strong runner. Bringing it by now, Pryor.
Lovely work from Pryor.
Here's a danger man. Look at him. Inside. Simple and over he goes.
And a flying dive over the line. Lovely step off his left foot to come back inside, leaving the UAE defenders for dead. Wonderful work. What great fast feet. And the ability to dance away from the tackles.
That run there by Kudza Mashawi. He set up the platform. Now watch this. Watch this man. Inside. Fantastic feet. He makes it look absolutely effortless. He's a very, very special player. He's the number 11.
Absolutely wonderful try. He is, of course, currently training with the Hollywood Bet Sharks down in South Africa.
And the Zimbabweans in full song. very, very good turnout for the Zimbabwean supporters here this evening at the 7th Stadium in Dubai.
Oh, it's great to see. It's great to see for an away game on a Tuesday night. A wonderful set of supporters.
They've really added to the atmosphere here at the 7th Stadium in Dubai. It is Ian Pryor, seeing if he can add the extra 2 points. Another wonderful strike by him, but just pulling it to the left-hand side of the upright.
Just shaving the outside of the post. So he loses his 100% record for this game, but wonderful work so far. What a try from Sigake.
Kick in there, tap back by Zimbabwe. Ipile trying to put the tackle in there now. Great run there by Dylan Utete for Zimbabwe. Takes it up. It's now Hilton Mudariki. Pryor brings his backline players into play. Taken up there by outside centre Brandon Mutsukeyetse. Mudariki, Pryor once again. Chips into space.
Oh, this
Taken
time
by the danger man.
Little dink over the top for Sigake as he drifted inside.
Good ruck there by the UAE. They've stolen that one. It comes out wide. Justin Welsh holding on to the ball. Welsh takes it in, needs support.
He's been well marshalled by the Zimbabwe defence.
He has.
I think they see him as a dangerous hard ball carrier out wide, so giving him no opportunity to get any pace up. But wonderful work in the middle from
Apile now. Apile making meters. The Fijian wrecking ball, as they call him. Simple, looking for support, plays it short. In goes Buerdas. Seems like he's lost that. It seems like a slight knock on there. He's playing advantage to Zimbabwe. This is where Zimbabwe are very, very dangerous. Strong run there by Simba Madioma.
That's good refereeing. And then, just as we were saying, good refereeing to allow play to continue, we then get a penalty infringement.
Matt Mills, the UAE captain, not staying on his feet.
So a couple of minutes to go to half time.
You see that falling off his feet and the referee penalising him. Ian Pryor with the touch finder.
Not taking any chances, not trying to bite too much there. So play just inside the UAE 22. Zimbabwe's line-out has functioned superbly so far throughout this first half. And it's created a wonderful platform for attacking rugby for them.
Simba Madioma, 48th cap this evening for Zimbabwe, finds his jumper there. David Makamba, the drive on by Zimbabwe. This is where they've been good. The penalty is out.
That was a great jump.
Keep drive there, pass it out to Simba Madioma. Madioma keeps it in. Fantastic play there. Hidaki playing out wide. Here's the danger man. Zimbabwe really going out wide. Kerwina, the winger. What can he do? Showing his pace. Inside.
Oh, that's a wonderful piece of rugby.
Oh my God, it is Hilton Mudariki with a slam dunk. Shows his intention. But Trevor Gerway, my word, what pace does this man have?
Well, Trevor Gerway, but it was the pass just before that, a big booming sort of 30-metre pass over to pick out Gerway. He had the opportunity to put the afterburners on and then pop the ball back inside to a very, very grateful Mudariki. So he gets his second try of the evening.
Yeah, Pete, you mentioned it. I think it was Brandon Mutsukeyetse that threw that long pass out there to Trevor Gerway, and oh my word, fantastic feet and pace, and then the inside pass to the captain, Hilton Mudariki, finish it off in style. His second try of the evening, and it's just a pop over there for Ian Pryor, adding the extra 2 points. That concludes the first half here at the 7th Stadium in Dubai. It is Zimbabwe leading the UAE 36 points to 3. You can hear the home support for the UAE, but a lot of Zimbabweans in here this evening. at the 7th Stadium in Dubai, waving their flags. Good game of rugby, Pete.
It's a wonderful game of rugby. Wonderful game of rugby. We've got 39 points. Okay, there's a big spread of 33, but there's some fantastic running rugby from Zimbabwe, really showing why they are a top 20 side in the world. The UAE with it all to do in the second half. They're not out of the game, but they're going to have to score early in the second half and try and keep Zimbabwe away from their try line.
Yeah, I guess the question we're asking ourselves now, if they didn't go down to those 13 men, I'm sure it would have been a much different result on the scoreboard. But the UAE can take a lot of positives out of this first half. And as you mentioned earlier, I think it's just eliminating the errors and getting a bit more momentum going.
Absolutely, and if they can keep possession and sort of try and get a little bit of territory and play rugby in the Zimbabwe half, who knows? Who knows? If they get a score early doors, it's going to sort of the tempo will increase. The opportunities that they've got are going to start to present themselves. So UAE, every opportunity to try and turn things around in the second half, but at the moment, very much advantage Zimbabwe.
And Pete,
so joined here with Durant, he's the backs coach for UAE. Durant, that was a tough start for UAE. 2 yellow cards early on in the game. How do you feel that impacted your start?
Definitely not how we prepared for the game. We said what's going to come down to is the least penalties, and I think we gave away 6 penalties in the first 4 minutes, and then followed by the 2 cards that did not help us at all, taking 2 of the second rows out the pitch. So definitely not helped us with getting any momentum.
Yeah, and I see Zimbabwe seem to be using, they're kicking in behind, they're trying to use that wide space, get running rugby. How are you going to stop that? How are you going to stop them getting the ball wide and running down the wings?
Definitely, they're a quality side. You can see they ranked quite highly up in the world, and you can see they're fighting to go to the next World Cup as well. We'll just have to be a bit smarter in the backfield. I've spoken to our wings to maybe hold off a bit more and not close that space so quickly to help Con at 15. He's getting a bit exposed at the back just because they're pushing so hard to try and close that outside pass off and then opening the holes out the back.
Yeah, and what was your key messages now to the boys at half-time? What's the next step for you guys? What's the focus, the key areas that you want to improve on in the second half?
I think we've got 40 minutes to go, so if boys have got to go till they spend. So if you spend in 10 minutes, we'll get you off. But we've got to do everything quicker. We've got to get to the lineouts quicker. We've got to react quicker. Our breakdown word has let us down a bit. They've stolen a few balls. So we've just got to react quicker to everything that's happening. I think the speed of the game is catching us a little bit. We thought it'd be a bit warmer tonight, so it's actually in their favour, the weather. So just trying to speed up the game by playing the way we play, so getting to the breakdowns quicker, setting quicker at the lineouts and playing quicker off the ball.
Yeah. Okay, thanks so much, Durant. Best of luck in the second half as well.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Same position. Oh, good.
Joined here by Ricky,
You and I
who's
did
also
right, you're the man I'm
defence
looking for.
coach
Yeah,
for
so,
Zimbabwe.
so
What a
basically,
ferocious start.
in a minute,
That was amazing.
We're going to do
Yeah,
a bit
no,
of a
it's one of
debrief
those
on
half
the
where
pitch.
everything goes for you. Obviously tough for UAE losing two of their forwards, but yeah, we managed to capitalize on that.
Yeah. And what was kind of the key focus areas that you wanted to, make an impact in that first half? What was your focus?
I think for us it's obviously an early start, just to get a good start, get a good footing on the game. We know that they're nice and heavy, so try to move them around a little bit, and I think that worked here.
Yeah, you're playing some good running rugby there. But so set piece, key in the line out. You've stole a few UAE as well. Are they the areas as well that you want to kind of dominate in the second half?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's been a weakness of ours for a long time. So obviously we've applied a lot of our resources and time to fixing our set piece, and it's quite pleasing to see that coming together, not denying them off the ball, and we've managed to obviously capitalize with the position that we've had.
Yeah. So second half, big obviously first half. That's great football for you guys. What's the key areas that you want to kind of dominate now in this half?
Yeah, I'm sure in the changing room right now the message is to reset, to go back again and do the things that have been working. We've got quite a guys that are chomping at the bit to come on in the second half, so we get another good start in the first 10-15 minutes, then we can get our reserves on and hopefully they'll keep up the momentum. Okay,
great. And you've got a great big crowd up here as well from Zimbabwe. They're bringing the energy, so thanks so much anyway, Ricky, and best of luck in the second half.
Thank you very much. They're awesome. They're always Zimbabwean spirit is always carries us everywhere, so yeah, thank you for that and thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, what a wonderful first half of rugby we've seen down here at the Sevens. It's been pretty much all Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe going into half-time, 36 points to 3 over the UAE. UAE with that solitary penalty scored by Andre Snetler to keep themselves on the board, but the UAE rather doing themselves a disservice and going down to 13 players for 10 minutes of that first half. And with a team with the firepower and the skills from Zimbabwe are showing, you really need all 15 to defend. As the highlights reel roll. You see wonderful work sometimes there from Tamora Soakley, making sure we were back on the ball, was coming back to the UAE after that kick through, but Zimbabwe there in numbers and the opportunity to spread the ball from open play. For a moment, Snetler thought he was away with that interception. The referee had already playing under penalty advantage. And Zimbabwe line-out has been rather a feature of this first half. Not only taking their own ball, moving it around and creating a wonderful platform for some attacking rugby across the field, but also poaching the UAE one as well. For all the world, it looked like Trevor Gurway was in on that far side, but the referee had seen an infringement, so play came back. And just another example of a wonderful carry from Mandioma. He has had a fantastic first half. And this time, a devastating ball carrier. Revasere choosing to offload out to an equally devastating, but in a different way, fast, speedy winger of Sigake down here on this left-hand side. The UAE made a change in the front row after about 25 minutes, seemed to shore things up in the scrum with the introduction of Ewan McLaren, leading to the first scrum penalty of the game. Flashes of good play from the UAE throughout the first half, but rather struggling to string phase play together and retain the ball. And it's just those small little mistakes. The ball going forward from hand, being turned over in the tight, just leading to opportunities for Zimbabwe, just like that one for Edward Sigake. Wonderful feet, great fast dancing as he stepped in off his left, leading the UAE defenders for dead. And the normally unflappable Ian Pryor with 10, just missing that previous kick. And Mudariki with the dive and the drive for the ball to the ground, getting his second try of the game. He really has controlled things at the base for the Zimbabwe, and we're going to cross over into the middle, back to Gareth.
Well, what an opening fixture in the 2024 Autumn Internationals here at the Seven Stadium. The Sables extremely dominant in that first half. It's all about Zimbabwe. 5 tries, I think, Tara, wasn't it, in the end? Some cracking tries there from the winger Edward Sigake. Who are the outstanding players for the Sables for you?
Yeah, I think you can really tell they've got experience all around the park. You can tell the guys up front are really dominating the carries, but they're not overplaying the phases. They're looking to get that ball wide. They've got serious pace on the wings and to the edges, and you can see that's where they're targeting, and that's where they've got most of their tries is down the wing side. Very, very good footwork by the number 11 from Zimbabwe. Really, he's getting through quite a lot of the UAE players, and then the support play from Zimbabwe is fantastic.
Of course, it's not over yet. It's got a long way to go. But what will Matt Mills be saying to his men in the change room today?
I think it's been a tough start for UAE, obviously having 2 yellow cards early on, but I think they've adapted well as they've identified areas where Zimbabwe were kicking into the backfield. I think they adapted well to that, pushing Conor Kennedy back, making sure Toby Oakley as well was covering. I think they'll definitely need to push up in defence because the pressure that they're putting on, getting that ball wide, they need to close off the wider channels. So I think just getting off the line quickly, really dominating defence, and then look to play their game and attack. I think they could probably kick, I'd say, for territory a little bit maybe in the second half. I'd assume they'll do a little bit more kicking for territory in the second half.
And what impact would those 2 yellow cards have had on the players today?
Yeah, I think obviously it's a tough one when you've got 2 big second rows taken out early on. Obviously, when it comes to the set pieces and key areas, They're two big men, two powerful men, and I think just taking them out of the middle also as well, that drew in our wingers. Our wingers had to come in, our backline had to come in and close in that space, which again opened up the wider channels for Zimbabwe to expose, I guess.
Well, of course, the UAE went down to 13 men at one point, but the Sables actually have an extra man on the sideline as well. Let's just go to the Sables fans here in the stadium live. Keep it up, keep it up.
Yeah, it's just great to see everybody getting involved in the spirit of things this evening, Pete. Great crowd out for the Zimbabweans. I'm not too sure how many of them stay here in the UAE, but they definitely got the support here this evening.
Absolutely, it's wonderful to see. Great noise coming in. We've just opened the windows from the commentary box to, as random as it sounds, to warm things up, because it's freezing in here, and the music and the party atmosphere is drifting inside. It's great.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just good to see everybody in such good spirits and ultimately adding to the good rugby that we've seen. A fantastic first half by Zimbabwe. The Sables, they're the current African champions. They definitely showed their style and class this evening. Pete, looking at the UAE team, who stood out for you this evening and had a good first half under the tremendous pressure that they were being put down to the 13 men?
I mean, when you're under the cosh, you look for players to stand up and to sort of make their tackles, to bring the players in around them. And Munib Khalant, I think, has been outstanding. I think he's really, his work rate has been absolutely fantastic. Boates has been leading from the front. You know, he's an aggressive ball carrier. He likes to make a nuisance of himself. He's been trying to get involved as much as possible. And you got Snetler, when he's had the ball in hand and he's had opportunity to try and create, he's tried, but there's not a lot going on around outside him. And I think, you know, when you're looking sort of further back from there, the opportunities for your wings, for your fullback to try and come into the game, when you're on the back foot so much, all they're doing is clear up at the back.
Yeah, very interesting to hear Duran Khab at half-time. He's in charge of the back, saying that the UAE didn't quite anticipate the pace that the game is getting played. And I think that's just, you know, the level out there of international rugby at this moment. The UAE were obviously hoping for a much warmer evening, but the weather has played into the Zimbabweans' hands, and they do play at a furious pace.
They do indeed, and as you mentioned, they are current African Cup champions, and they're playing like it. They were out early for the second half, taking their place on the field. The UAE just coming out now. The referees and his team also taking their place on the field. There'll have been some stern words in the sheds, I think, for the UAE. They've looked like they've been running some changes. We'll hopefully get the rundown of who's come on and who's gone off for you as the game continues. And I know that Zimbabwe will be looking to bring players in from the bench. As was mentioned at half-time, they've got players itching to get out there.
Yeah, Snetler to restart us now. He kicks on to the number 7, Godfrey of Zimbabwe. But it seems like the UAE snatched that now. Simple playing it short there. That's Liam. Taken up by the UAE. Getting it to ground. Simple once again. Playing the Fijian wrecking ball. Of course, a former under-20 World Cup player, Zipile. Simple now, looking for Snetler. Snetler playing it deep. Ball around to Crosley. Liam Cardwell taking it in. Cardwell now making good meters. Is Liam Cardwell. Simple brings it out. Going to Drani Bute. Playing behind players now. Bringing in some big runners. Great hit up there by the UAE. Looks like the Zimbabwe is offside. Taken up once again by the UAE. They need support now. No advantage.
And that is just exactly what Coach Jacques Bernardi would have been asking for at the start of this second half. Positive ball carrying, positive running, and the UAE making ground into the Zimbabwe half, and not just making ground but retaining possession and drawing the penalty.
Yeah, mentioned that some much better interplay there by the UAE and bringing some aggression. You mentioned the substitutions. Lucas Waddington has come on to the pitch for the UAE. He's wearing the number 16 jersey this evening, and it was him making one of those runs a little bit earlier. Number 17 is the Scotsman Ewan McLaren that came on a little bit earlier as a tight head prop. Sorry, that's number 18, should I rather say. Anyway, UAE has got an attacking line out. David Gurn to feed the line out, looking for his jumpers. Goes short there. Matt Mills, the captain, taking it in. UAE looking to get a drive. The ball's lost short there. Picked up at the back of the ruck. UAE driving forward now. Looking for it simple at the back. Asking questions. Playing it short up once again. Taken in by the UAE. They'll be looking to get this to ground. Great defense by Zimbabwe. Still with the UAE. Simple. Playing out short. Over the top. Inside.
And then back inside, but just with a foot in touch. Spotted by JP Clemens. We're going back for a previous infringement though. Great start to the second half for the UAE.
Great start, as you mentioned, for the UAE. Getting some great continuity going, and it is a scrum to the UAE. Change front row for the UAE. Lucas Waddington is on at loose head, and Dave Gurn, the man from Liverpool, in the hooker position. And then Ewan McLaren making up the tight head. Andrew Semple now to feed this scrum for the UAE. Great attacking position for the United Arab Emirates.
Yeah, wonderful opportunity.
Zimbabwe just having a player sent to the bin. Semple now to feed the scrum. Nice right shoulder there by McLaren. Getting hold of the back by Buddhas. Fantastic scrum by the UAE now.
Oh, it's a great drive.
Really pressurising the Zimbabweans.
Standing up. Over there, over there. Over there. Sorry.
Zimbabwe front row popping up there. Easy decision for the referee.
I would call the scrum again if I was Matt Mills.
Line, please.
Lucas Waddington here on the loose head. Getting under his player. Fantastic, fantastic scrum by the UAE.
Yeah, so both sides.
And you spoke a little bit about him earlier. Of course, went to school here in Dubai is Ewan McLaren, and he's really made an impact since he's been on the pitch.
Oh, he has indeed. He has indeed. And I think the whole of this new front row really stamping or looking to stamp their authority at the start of this second half. UAE with the bit between their teeth.
Crouch!
And looking to take full advantage of another repeat scrum 5 metres out from the Zimbabwe line.
Semple feeds now. Going to the back once again. A big rush there by the picked up by Semple. Plays out wide now. Crosley, big run by Crosley. Looking to spin, needs support. Goes down to ground. Semple looking for quick ball now. Plays it out. Snetler. That's Siki. He's just a few meters short of the line. Penalty once again, advantage for the UAE. Picked up there by Pele. Pele's over!
That's a wonderful score. What a great start to the second half for the UAE.
It is the wrecking ball, Piwe Navatibuli, that gets over there. The Exiles flanker. Fantastic enterprise play there. It's Crosley fighting for his life. Getting that ball down to the ground now. Now Semple looking once again for the runners. Brings it out wide. It is Saki that has come onto the pitch in the number 13 jersey. Once again looking to present it. Zimbabwe offside. And now you'll see the wrecking ball. He eyes up the situation. Picks up. You're not stopping him for any money there. He's over.
Yeah, it's wonderful work from the UAE. As you mentioned, Saki nicely joining the field in the centres, looking to have replaced Liam Caldwell, I believe. And Aaron Dubois is on the field as well for the Exiles. I'm not sure whether he's replaced Justin Walsh, I'm not sure.
Man. Can Snetler add the 2 points? Strikes it. And unfortunately hits the upright there for Snetler. A much better strike there by the fly half.
Yeah, wonderful work. That one cannoning right back off the post. So those extra 2 points Let's hope they don't prove vital a bit later on, but very unlucky to see that one rebounding.
And that's exactly what Duran Khaiber was referring to at half-time. They have to quicken the pace. They have to make those phases quicker. And that's exactly what the UAE did there, leading to that try. Fantastic enterprising play between forwards and backs, culminating in that 5-pointer scored by, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, Ipile Dabatiwule, the wrecking ball as they call him. Kicked in there by Prior now. Onto Drani Buta, taking in there for the UAE. Simple behind that. He'll be looking for his runners. Jean Buerta's taking it up now. Pile. He's been involved.
A strong carry, looking to try and make yards through the middle.
Snetler onto that educated right boot. Goes high up into the sky. Then he's chased by Justin Welsh. Zimbabwe allowing that to bounce. Tapped in field. And the touch judge has put up his flag. That's a great net gain there for the UAE.
A good chase from the UAE. Good chase by Justin Walsh there to put pressure on the Zimbabwe defenders, giving them no opportunity to try and catch the ball and then turn and go, having to flick it back inside, but feet in touch, well spotted over on that far side.
Justin Welsh playing on the wing this evening, normally in the number 12 jersey. Dave Gurn to feed this line out. Tapped on the Zimbabwean side now. Edward playing out wide here to Awati, the fullback. He'll look to bring his backs into play now. Lovely little inside step there by Tino. Tino's got pace. Will he go all the way? A lovely step there by the number 8. He passes out wide.
An outrageous offload out the back of the hand, but rather too outrageous. That one's gone forward, but what a wonderful piece of individual strength and speed and skill from Mavaseri.
Look at this boy's skills. God, runs with such grace, great pace, flicks it out the back there, hoping to find his winger Trevor Gerway, but unfortunately didn't. And if Gerway got that, you could put your life on it, he would have scored. He's got so much pace. He's the number 14.
Absolutely, that was good night, Irene, if that ball had gone backwards and then gone to hand. Carl, we talked about Mavaseri constantly throughout the first half, and that's his first big impact of the second.
Yeah, he's definitely living up to all the hype before the game. He's proving himself that he's a quality number 8. Playing in South Africa at the Natal Sharks. Andrew Semple to feed the scrum for the UAE. Semple now, bit of pressure on the UAE scrum there. They steady it out. And a penalty to Zimbabwe. And you can see big celebrations there by number 4, David Makamba. Just seemed to have got the UAE in a wrong position there, and up goes McLaren on the tight head side. And big support there. David Makamba, of course, a qualified scientist playing in the lock position this evening for Zimbabwe. A man of many talents is the number 4 lock forward for Zimbabwe.
And taking his place on the field, Tyrone Fagan for Zimbabwe, just having a little couple of words with Mandioma, making sure the line-out call is correct.
In it goes, nice short ball. Zimbabwe will drive now, getting players behind the ball. UAE have to watch out for infringements now. David Miami played out wide. It's a hat-trick of tries for the captain this evening.
Hilton Mudariki celebrates 3 tries himself, 3 tries for the Sables. As Zimbabwe took that ball down in the line-out, they worked it really well to the back and then just rolled the ball out the back to a very, very grateful Mudariki. Over he goes, Kel, rightly so, for his 3rd try of the game.
Yeah, and I'm sure Hilton Mudariki will not get upset with me for saying it, but his teammates have made it very easy for him scoring these tries this evening. He's just had a canter over, but that is the talent of this man. He's always finding himself in the right place at the right time, and once again, he proved it. You see that taken in there. It is David, the scientist, that took it in there. The big drive by Zimbabwe, getting the forwards behind the ball, and then it's great control there by Simba Madiama, and then feeding it to the captain. Dives over for a hat-trick of tries this evening.
Yeah, so the UAE getting themselves a little bit closer with the early try from Divatoalu, getting themselves up towards 8 points. Zimbabwe pushing themselves back out again. Oh,
I don't believe
maybe
the try was allowed.
I think the try's not been given. I think we're going to come all the way back. Referee just having words, just as we were extolling the virtues of Hilda Mudariki's hat-trick try. We're going to come all the way back. So potentially that was blocking in there. Accidental offside maybe. So we're going to restart with a scrum to the UAE.
And there we see on the tight end for Zimbabwe the man with a great name, Bornwell Gwinji, going down at tight end. He will be taking on the fan salesman from the UAE. It is Lucas Waddington that is on the pitch for the United Arab Emirates now. UAE will need a big scrum now. Simple to feed the scrum. A defensive scrum for the UAE. They're standing steady. Controlled at the back there by Boertes. Simple will play it out wide now. Big run up there by Justin Welsh.
He's come all the way inside from his right wing to set up and take that one on that crash ball. They've used him a lot in that regard.
Snetler, not his best effort this evening. Hawati now at fullback. He'll count all day long.
Oh.
Holding his feet inside out. Good tackle there by Crosley. Saki in defense for the UAE now. UAE getting spread wide. It is Zimbabwe taking it on. The little grabber through by Pryor. Can the UAE get behind this? Is Zimbabwe. Oh, he's lost
he was
control.
So close to picking up that one. Just as he bounced over, the ball goes forward from his hand. His own momentum causing that knock on to sort of dislodge. Great enterprise from Pryor.
And you've got to compliment.
I think you've got to compliment Dubois for his defensive skills as well. They're putting pressure on.
Absolutely. Oh, you took the words out of my mouth. And that's what Pryor's been doing the whole afternoon, or the whole evening, should I rather say. He really sums up every situation so well. Put through the grubber, realised there was nobody back for the UAE, and Deboa, I tell you, he did a salvage job there. And unfortunately for Zimbabwe, it is Edward Sugake knocking on that ball. Referee is giving a penalty to the UAE. And they've not kicked that one up, the UAE. That's a mistake. Pryor now with a drop goal. Strikes it. Just wide of the upright.
And it's wide of the upright. Interesting decision to make when you're 36 points to weigh it up, going for the drop goal. But who am I to question a man of his experience and talent?
Absolutely. And he does have a fantastic boot, and in the way he times the ball is phenomenal.
He just seems to have that extra second when he's looking to find position with the ball off his boot, or indeed with that searching pass.
Snetler now going deep, taken in there by Zimbabwe. It is the flanker Titi. Lays it back down.
Excellent counter-rucking from the UAE.
That. Great counter-ruck that. Simple picks up, makes his way down the touchline. UAE needs support players. Jean Boertes plays it out wide now. Taken in there by Lucas Waddington. Big run by the loose head prop. Boertes now picks up and knocks on.
And Boertes, the initial work from the first ruck there when he stepped in at scrum half was fantastic to pop the pass up. Then he just looked to pick and go. Just his momentum going beyond the ball as he tries to pick it up, and maybe actually going over the leg.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
It could have been the outstretched leg that dislodged it.
And in those situations, that's where you just need to be a little bit more patient, which didn't quite happen there for the UAE. I think it is Marcus Gurin that he might have, whose leg he might have bumped into there.
I think it could well have been.
Some good interplay from the UAE, just struggling to finish off a couple of moves, but they've looked very, very strong in the first 13 minutes of the second half. It is Hilton Mudaraki to feed the scrum now for Zimbabwe. Nice steady scrum by Zimbabwe. Hold at the back there by Tino. Advantage to Zimbabwe. Mudaraki plays blind now. Look at the pace of the man to the outside winger, and knocked on there by Edward.
That loud blast from the referee. We could be coming back from a... Yeah, he was indeed. He'd already seen the penalty. UAE offside.
It was a penalty advantage, and Budariki knew that. He broke blind, waiting for it. He's got so much speed. Pulling in Welsh. And
with the try line beckoning for the first time this evening,
Number 12 off
Sigaki unable to take advantage.
Yeah, Sigaki will be having nightmares about that a little bit later on this evening, because he would have been an easy canter in.
Changes for Zimbabwe. Looks like Mashawi.
Yeah, over here. Okay.
Looks like his day is done. Karasenga. Kyle Godwin coming onto the field. Kyle Godwin, ex-Australia under-20s player.
Yeah, Godwin, that's also played for the Western Force out in Australia. A man with great pedigree is Kyle Godwin. Manioma to feed the line out now, taken in there by Simba Sarara. The break around. It is Marvesere running strong. Taken in there by the big man. You've just mentioned him. Let's just come onto the field now, Nyanga. Marika playing it out wide. Zimbabwe now with some great pressure now. Looking to bring it outside. It is passed on. Oh, and unfortunately just the last minute pass. They couldn't find any hands there for the Zimbabweans.
It looks like Zimbabwe electing to move the ball at every opportunity. Just that final pass evading the hands. There's a little bit of the story of the UAE in the first half when it was their final pass that was evading the hands, but at the moment Zimbabwe can afford those mistakes because they are indeed 36 points to 8 up, 15 minutes gone of the second half.
Here's that quick ball for Zimbabwe, and this is where they're dangerous when they get the momentum. Prior, the long pass out to Godwin, you mentioned it, and then it is the fullback Hawata that just couldn't quite find Gerwe on the outside.
Change for the UAE at scrum half. David Evans, but Abby Harlequin's taking his place and replacing Andrew Semple.
David Evans had a fantastic game for the Harlequins over the weekend against the Sharks. Nippy little fella, plays with a lot of heart. Toby Oakley now seeking out the touchline. Nice strike there by the winger Oakley. And David going to feed this line out for the UAE. Justin Welsh standing just behind the fly. We'll be interested to see if they bring him in once again to get a bit of momentum. Calling numbers there. And is Mavesa that has left the lineup for Zimbabwe, going to feed the lineup now. Goes to the back, tapped on there by the UAE, but Zimbabwe get away with it.
Good contest.
There's Godwin, the player that you spoke about, very composed. Milton McGregor out to the blind side, big upper number there by Brandon. Welsh has got time, calls the mark. Justin Welsh.
Well taken, no opportunity to do anything creative. Just take the mark and clear your lines.
The trained masseuse is Justin Welsh with the right boot now.
Oh, that's lovely.
Lovely little knock there by Justin Welsh.
And a great touch find up, taking play just inside the Zimbabwe half.
Zimbabwe to feed the line out. It is Simba Madioma in his 48th cap this evening for his country. Lovely taken there. Mudike playing it out wide to Pryor. Pryor the short ball. Taken in by the Zimbabweans. Getting over that advantage line now. Looking for quick ball.
Well, I think for the first time in this game, that's a mistake from Mudariki as that ball goes forward from his fingers as he was looking to set the electric backs of Zimbabwe again. And an initial drive for Zimbabwe by Kelvin Kananungo.
And it seems in the UAE backline, it's Evans at scrum off now. Semple's gone to fly. That's how they played for their club this past weekend. and then Crosley and Saki in their centre positions.
It is in fact well spotted. I think it's Stetner that's has left the field.
Evans now to feed the scrum for the UAE, hold at the back there by John Wooders. Crosley plays Welsh. Welsh, the big man. Can he make some running now? Justin Welsh holding that up, holding the whole of the Zimbabweans up. Great running by Justin Welsh. He's lost that forward.
The drive was good. The drive was good. The enterprise was good. UAE players up in support, driving him further forwards, but then the ball just ripped away.
Some nice meters made there by Justin Welsh, the Exiles winger.
He drove through the attempted tackle from Gurwe.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Brandon Musakinyetsi holding on for dear life there on the big man. Justin Welsh doing a lot of his off-season training down in Cape Town. Likes the terrain and climate there to get fit for the rugby season here in Dubai. Normally goes down for the cooler weather is Welsh. UAE will need a big scrum now. We'll like to put a bit of pressure on Zimbabwe. It is Mudariki to feed it for Zimbabwe. Nice steady scrum. UAE getting the shove now. Lucas Waddington putting a lot of pressure here on the loose head side. And ultimately getting the penalty.
Great work for the UAE tight five. Really putting the pressure on Zimbabwe there and earning the penalty.
You see that again. Waddington really getting low on his opposition now. And there the power comes from the big man. Wonderful scrum there by Lucas Waddington.
And a great nudge as well from Semple.
Yeah, line to the middle, take half a step, please.
It's going to be a line out right on the 5 metre line.
Sorry?
UAE, wonderful attacking opportunity with this line out knocking on Zimbabwe's door. 20 minutes gone in the second half. And if you've just joined us, Zimbabwe, who at the moment enjoying a commanding 36 points to 8 lead. And so far in the second half, the UAE are the only side to have put points on the board.
Good.
Every opportunity.
Matt Mills. Drive on by the UAE now. They'll have to make this count. It's Gurn controlling at the back there. He's got Johnny Boot on the back of him. Great strides made here by the UAE. They're over the line.
And the try is given.
The try.
And the ball in the hands of Esekaya Dranibota. Ice.
Ice, ice, baby. Drani Buta getting over for the UAE. They composed themselves nicely. This is what Pete spoke about. All of a sudden, applying the pressure. Over they go. It is Drani Buta getting over for the UAE, but it was all made by that fantastic scrum of the tight five, especially Lucas Waddington getting the penalty. Semple putting them into that attacking position. Fantastic line-out win there by captain Matt Mills. And then the big drive. We see this once again in slow motion now. Controlled at the back there by David Gurn, the hooker. And then Drani Buta just hovering, waiting for his opportunity. Boom! And down he goes.
Absolutely. Made and developed from that initial scrum penalty, but then a wonderful, as the kick is on its way. That's a great strike from Conor Kennedy, adding the extra 2 points. UAE out to 15, really starting to cut into this Zimbabwe lead right about the midpoint in the second half. And as you were saying, rightly so, Carl, the try came initially from that penalty at the scrum. Great work in the tight five to get that hit up on the tight head side. But a wonderful penalty to take play right onto the 5 metre line from Semple. And then great line out work. And a catch and drive and the patience to drive out beyond the line.
And prior to restart, big call there by Drani Buta. Well taken. He needs support now from the UAE. It is Evans. Evans playing out wide now. Semple, Jean Burtis looking to carry once again for the UAE. Ipile Evans controlling at the back there. Semple's got time. He goes to the air. It's the Gary Owen from Andrew Semple. Under it is Zimbabwe. They'll play it out wide now. They look to counter with the knock on there by Huati.
That's a wonderful kick chase from the UAE. The initial pressure put on over on that far side by Justin Walsh. Zimbabwe managing to catch and get the ball back inside. But great work from Conor Kennedy on the follow-up, forcing the knock on.
Yeah, some lovely pressure there by Welsh causing that bad pass. Keegan Joubert has made his way onto the pitch for Zimbabwe in place of the captain, Hilton Mudariki. And what a game Mudariki has had this evening.
Absolutely. A real captain's performance. A fitting way to play your 49th cap. But his day's done, and as you say, Keegan Joubert taking his place on the field. A little bit of a stoppage in play. Looks like it was Butts who's getting a little bit of treatment.
Yeah, Jean Boudis took a bit of a knock when he went into that loose ruck there, as you mentioned.
But this has been a really positive start by the UAE to this second half, getting themselves back into this game. At the moment, they've scored an unanswered 12 points. Really cutting into that deficit. A long way to go, but if they can keep this up throughout the remainder of this half, who knows where we're going to be at 80 minutes.
Yeah, as you say, a lot more controlled by the UAE in the second half that I've really enjoyed by them. And they've just made the change now, moving Semple to 10, bringing Evans. They are club mates, a good understanding of each other, and Semple very versatile. So he'll add a lot more running to this back line. He's calling the moves there. He'll obviously look to bring Crosley into play. And it is Connor Kennedy that's standing very shallow within this back line.
It is. We spoke before the game about Semple and his ability to play at 9 and 10.
It's Evans now. Boudis at the back, fumbling that one, passes on to Evans. Saki making the running. Lovely inside step there by the centre. Evans now looking for the big runners. Johnny Buta puts down the pedal.
Oh, this time forced backwards. All the moment he looked like he was going to break through there.
Waddington, the pass over the top. This could be dangerous. This could be very dangerous for Zimbabwe.
Very
making his way down the touchline. He's just a quick, Pete. He's just a quick.
Oh, go away with all the time in the world when you've got pace like that to go round the outside of the on-rushing winger. It was enterprising stuff from the UAE, but perhaps a little bit too free with the ball. You see that one was floated over.
The loose pass. Look at the man with the jet shoes now. Stays calm and just puts on the afterburners. Goodbye, he says. It's try time.
Aaron Dubois is no slouch himself. The UAE International at 7s, been given no opportunity to get anywhere near by Gurwe.
This man, just look at him. What an athlete. What an athlete. The Zimbabwean flyer.
We talked earlier on, Carl, about how the UAE had made a great start to this second half by scoring 12 unanswered points. And then you put the ball in the hands of Gurwe, and away he goes. He scored twice in the final of the Africa Cup last season, earlier on this year. In the final when the Zimbabwe took down Algeria 29 points to 3.
Pryor just shaving the right hand upright for that one is Jan Pryor. But that's the danger of the Zimbabwean side, Pete. You know, any loose ball, most of them have represented their country at 7s. We know that they played on the international circuit for such a long time. They always played here in Dubai, and always fantastic to watch. And that's what they can do. They will punish you because they got those speedsters and they got those playmakers.
Looks like Aidan Burnett making his way onto the field.
And it is Semple to restart. He goes nice and high, just over the 10-metre line, getting his players underneath it. It is Apili that takes it in there for UAE. Evans will play it out wide now. Lucas Waddington taking it into the front row. Evans once again. Semple now looking for runners. Plays it behind. Crosby the long pass to Saki. He's missed it, and it's trouble. It's good night. It's goodbye. You will never stop this man with open field. Look at him, a true sprinter. Is the left winger. It's Edward Tugake.
Well, there is absolutely no substitute for pace in this game. You've managed to pick up a loose ball like that. Away he goes. Well, I think that's afterburners and jetpack.
You summed it up perfectly, Pete. This man is unbelievable, and you give him a little sniff and he will take full advantage. He's so gifted, great feet, but most importantly, the speed, the gas in the tank.
Yeah, Sigake with his second score of the game. We saw him dancing through for his first try in the first half, down on this near side on the left hand, and that one was just pure pace. Picking up the loose ball, nobody in front of him, nobody to stop him.
Pryor with the easiest conversions, adding the extra 2 for Zimbabwe. The UAE will have to keep their composure now. And you just have to think, UAE are really getting themselves into good spaces, into good places on the field. But ultimately, the one loose pass, the one little mistake is costing them dearly. Well, it's cost them 14 points.
Absolutely.
Should I rather say 12 points in the last few minutes. It's once again simple to get us restarted. Taking in by Brandon, the number 13 centre, staying on his feet. Strong hand off there. UAE slipping tackles are. Brendan through. Brendan making the running. Looking for support. Jabak but a fantastic steal there by it was the boy. Simple rushing this one now. He's kicked to the far touchline. Does he get the bounce? Doesn't quite get the bounce.
Just stays inside.
Pryor with a long pass. Godwin now. Godwin's danger. Plays it out wide now. There's the gas man, looking for the gas man on the outside. There he goes. Watch the gas man.
He's through
the
one,
gas man's gone. He's gone. You will not stop him.
Through 3. Wonderful.
He's ruthless.
Oh.
He is ruthless.
I tell you, we've managed for the vast majority of this game, Carl, to not talk over one another. But when you've got a player of that quality, showing that much skill, breaking 2, 3 tackles and then leaving players for dead on that far side, it's very difficult to not get excited.
Absolutely, people. Just look at him. Missed tackle there on him. He's so strong with so much composure, and he's absolute joy to watch. Dots it down behind the post for a 5-pointer. It is Edwin Sigake. Played in the Under-20 World Cup this year, and as you mentioned earlier, he really contributed to them winning the African Cup earlier this year. Conversion is good by Pryor, adds the extra 2.
Pryor with the extras. And the day is done for Mandioma, for Zimbabwe as well. What a wonderful game he's had at hooker. Really controlling things in the front row. His line-out throws have been exemplary. His metres carried have been phenomenal. And his work rate around the park has been unbelievable. A wonderful, wonderful game for Mandioma. And he's been replaced by Brian Chang. Brian Chang.
Simple to get us restarted now. Gerber, the right winger. You're going to have to watch him. He's through. He's broken the first tackle now. Yes, danger. Yes, danger for the UAE. He's gone. He's gone, Pete. He's
Connor
just
Kennedy just getting back at him.
And over Zimbabwe go.
That is great support. Mudzikenyedzi for Zimbabwe. What a wonderful break again from Sigake. There are tired players out on the field in the grey jerseys of the UAE.
Watch him now. Steps. Shows the pace. I thought he was gone. But he's Connor Kennedy that hung on to him there. And then you mentioned passing it to Brandon Mudzikenyedzi, the number 13, getting over for his 5-pointer. Zimbabwe are running riot here at the 7th Stadium in Dubai. So many quality players. We spoke about it before the game started. Ranked 28th in the world. And the first time in 10 years that Namibia haven't won the African Cup. Of course, that was won by Zimbabwe this year, beating Algeria in the final. It's Pryor now. Yeah, he'll kick them all day.
No mistake with that one. So around about 9 minutes to go in the second half. It was a wonderful start to the second half for the UAE. As we said a couple of times, they scored 12 unanswered points. But since they scored those 12 points to get themselves out to 15, the UAE have advanced from 36 all the way to 62.
They'll have to watch this man. It's Gerwin out. He plays it inside. UAE will have to get the defence lines right. They're going for the big hits. It's Welsh.
There was Walsh coming up out of the line to try and stop that fluid passing movement for Zimbabwe. And the ball down on the ground. UAE continue.
Let's go.
Referee playing advantage for that knock on. So the UAE opportunity, can they make something from broken play?
Gurn carrying it up strongly now. He needs to get to ground. Is David Gurn. Gets to ground. I thought that was a forward pass there by Zimbabwe. Didn't seem to be called. The referee has now called it.
He has called it indeed. So we are going to come back.
Morgan White adjudicating that pass forward. So it should be a scrum to the UAE in a very attacking position.
Looks like Chris McKee coming onto the field for the UAE.
Yeah, Chris McKee.
Abu Dhabi Harlequins back row.
Brings a lot of experience onto the pitch in the last 9 minutes, is McKee.
He does indeed, and he's replacing captain Matt Mills.
Another outstanding performance by Matt Mills, the UAE captain.
Yeah, a warm round of applause as he takes a well-earned drink.
Dave Evans to feed the scrum now. UAE will be looking to get a steady scrum. The referee giving the penalty to the UAE.
Corner. That's Mole.
Simple now. We'll be looking for an attacking lineup. Just see that and engage, and yeah, you see that dropping his bind and dropping his knee.
Yeah, and then the early drive as well from Zimbabwe, forcing his own players to the ground.
Yeah, Bornwell, Gwinji. And a great touch find at our Semple. David Gurn will be looking to find his jumpers in this attacking lineup for the UAE. And can they finish it off in style? It's Gurn now. Gurn feeds it over the top to Drani Boutte. Drani Boutte missing that one, taken in there by Zimbabwe. Looking to clean up now, Keegan Jabir.
Yeah, rather a missed opportunity for the UAE, but that one charged down.
Charged down, is this an opportunity for the UAE?
Where's that going to go?
I think he was over the line.
I think as he's gone to place that one, he slipped and it looks like he's gone into the dead ball. But maybe there was something before that seen by the referee.
Jabir looking for Godwin, he passes it. The charge down comes in by Evans. The ball ricochets back. Yeah, he's
I did. I thought just before he went to ground, I think he touched him when he was stood over the line. It sort of rebounded back off his chest. Did well to gather it and get it to ground, but just running out of room. I do believe the referee just checking with the TMOs to make sure that the decision is correct.
Referee's just discussing this one, Pete.
Yeah.
Just trying to understand if it's a 22 dropout.
Or whether indeed it's a goal line dropout. Whether that ball was adjudged to have been taken dead by the UAE. Or whether the ball was dead before the UAE touched it.
It's enough to not allow us to just jump. Us doing nothing, even not even.
So there we go, the first decision was the correct one, according to the referee and his team. So we're going to restart with the goal line dropout.
But they're not allowing us to just jump because they're moving, making us think that's
goes deep.
Ours is almost too simple.
UAE, that's correct.
Because we're going against people that are as quick.
And cannot kick direct into touch from a goal line dropout, and that will be attacking scrum for the UAE.
You could not ask for a better position for an attacking scrum than 5 metres out, directly in front of the post. And the UAE had all the advantage in the last scrum, forcing the penalty. Can they do it again? They need good, solid ball, control at the back. Yeah, you set the platform.
And then he challenges me.
You've got to fancy the UAE in the scrum now. Waddington will have to get low with Gurn and McLaren. They will have to lay the platform here for the UAE. They've got two sides to operate on. Where does Evans go? Evans feeds to scrum now, hold at the back by Burris. Looking for the second drive. Burris picks up now, plays Evans. Evans goes wide. Saki coming in short. Fantastic run there by the man.
Cool it!
Cycle. Zimbabwe have picked it up, and it's a whistle by the referee.
I think offside. Zimbabwe offside, so another penalty to the UAE.
You can hear the UAE coach here in our headphones, and he's shouting scrum.
Looks like they've chosen to
The captain's
go
not
to
listen,
touch.
captain's not listening to him. It's Simple going for the line out now.
So they've got a second opportunity. The last one was overthrown, going over the top.
Gurn will have to find his line out forwards now. He'll be getting to get that instruction in, is David Gurn. Gurn, he finds Johnny Bute, much better by the UAE now. They get in there looking to get the drive going. Coach at the back there by Evans. UAE moving forward. Zimbabwe look like they're coming from the side. Still the UAE are controlling this one. It's the UAE now in control. Can they get it over the line?
Referees
Moving
come all the way
forward.
around.
Penalty
There it is.
UAE. Fantastic play there by the UAE forwards.
So we started the first score for Zimbabwe in the first half. It was their penalty try. The UAE have got one of their own. Great determination and drive by the forwards.
And a yellow card awarded to Simba Siraha for coming in from the wrong side there. The man they call the lone wolf.
Thursday morning.
He will be a bit of a lone wolf in the sin bin for 10 minutes.
He will indeed.
3 minutes left to play in this second half. UAE forwards really showing fantastic composure and control and being rewarded with a penalty try.
Great to see the UAE still with the drive, the determination to continue advancing the score. Good work under that ball there from Kennedy, sliding in to make sure that he took that catch cleanly. And then Zimbabwe guilty of trying to play the ball on the floor in the ruck. So penalty to the UAE. An opportunity.
Yeah, you mentioned a lovely sliding catch there by Connor Kennedy.
Corner's down.
What a good nudge. Taking play just outside the Zimbabwe 22. A couple of minutes to go in the second half.
Sure, the UAE will be looking to finish on a higher, Pete.
Absolutely.
He's only just got sub.
There's no sub.
David Gurn to feed the line out. Here we once again looking for his jumpers, getting the drive on. They did it so successfully a few minutes ago. That led to that penalty try. Jean Boertes calling the instructions. Where does Gurn go? Gurn goes to Boertes. Lovely take there by the big man. Here comes the drive there. Pile. Gurn directing traffic. Evans plays out wide now. Semple to Crosley. Crosley brings in Welsh. Big hit there by the Zimbabweans. They're going to have to get Welsh down. He's held up in the tackle. He gets that ball down. Semple holding on. Lovely little feet there by Andrew. Semple, he needs support. Zimbabweans have stolen that. Knocked backwards, the referee acclaims.
It was great work in the tight from Zimbabwe as Semple presented that ball on the floor. It was there to be picked.
Here's danger, Pete. Here's danger. Good tackle there on Edward Gouet.
He bounces the would-be tackler away though. So strong work from the flyer on that far side.
Taken up there by Keegan Jabaz. Zimbabwe will look to spread this ball wide now. Godwin Playing it out to the outside now, looking for some players. A miss pass here. Nwati comes, breaks the line. The fullback very deadly. Lovely feet there by him. Zimbabwe need. Jabir plays it out wide now. Godfrey, the number 7 flanker, scored a try early on. Carries it up nicely for Zimbabwe.
Yeah,
Jabir, Godwin
great continuity from the guys in green and white. And the referee, no option but to stop play as the ball was taken over on that far side. But I mentioned that Sigake looked at it as though he bounced from that tackle, but he's taken a heavy knock and he is receiving treatment over on that far side.
Yeah, you mentioned that they have stopped the game. And Zimbabwe just proving what dangerous runners they have got. They've really caused havoc for the UAE. We see this in slow motion again. It is the boy. Then comes the hit. It is McKee that pulls him down, and he seems to have got injured in that tackle of McKee from the UAE. That's where the injury seems to have taken place, but good to see him back on his feet.
Looks like he's making his, it looks like he's getting up to his feet slowly. I think he's just winded.
Yeah, I think you called it.
It was a heavy, heavy hit. Wonderful, good tackle from McKee over on that far side, making sure he had no opportunity. But interesting choice of Sigake to try and go through McKee rather than around him, as he seems to have done through and around most of the players this evening.
Yeah, that he has done very, very well, as you mentioned.
So we are deep into the final minute of the second half.
39 minutes played in this second half. Zimbabwe leading the UAE 62 points to 22.
Get wider now, Justin, get wider!
There's a stoppage in play for an injury to the star left winger of Zimbabwe, Edward Sigake, but he is back on his feet now.
Get them wider, Mike. Get Justin.
Jabir to beat the scrum for Zimbabwe. About 10 seconds left on the stadium clock. Can Zimbabwe finish it off in style? It is Jabir. Great scrum once again there by Waddington and the UAE. A lot of pressure here on Zimbabwe. Godwin taking it up now. Strong carrier. Jabir looking for his runners.
Oh, that one's just gone to ground. That could be it. It is indeed it. Referee calls time, says enough is enough, and the game finishes with Zimbabwe running out worthy winners, 62 points to 22 over the UAE. Carl,
yeah,
tone was set right from the start, where the Zimbabwe looked to run the ball at every opportunity and create spaces and gaps in the UAE defence, and look to set their flyers away.
And that's exactly what they did tonight, Pete. They're a class outfit. They ranked number 28 in the world, and they showed it this evening. And such dangerous outside players. We spoke so much about these two wingers, Edward Sigake and Trevor Gerwe, and they showed it tonight. The minute they get their ball in that outside channels, they are absolutely dangerous. And a fantastic display of rugby by Zimbabwe.
Absolutely. Sigake getting a hat-trick of tries. We actually thought that Captain Mudariki had got his hat-trick earlier on in the game, but his last one was denied. We're going to have a quick look at the highlights. As we said, the UAE made a great start in the second half. You know, they kept Zimbabwe on a blank. We're just talking then about Mudariki's possible third try that was chalked off, and the UAE took full advantage and went up the other end of the field and tried to rumble themselves. They scored 12 unanswered points in that second half before the floodgates opened again for Zimbabwe.
Yeah, I've got to compliment the UAE. I thought they had their forwards really came to the party. Here we see Saki getting very, very close. And of course, this was the build-up to the try by Epile, the wrecking ball. You see that Nasser Saki going up close, showing a great strength in contact there. And then Epile, he is so dangerous, so deadly, so close to the line. You'll sniff this one out from the back, and over he goes for that 5-pointer.
The recycling of possession was good as well. And Epile having to drive through 2 players to sort of bulldoze his way to the line. He had a lot of work to do, even from a metre out.
But this is the story of the evening. Movese, this, what should I say, roaming number 8 of Zimbabwe. A lot said about him before this game, and tonight he just absolutely proved his class.
Tino Movese, what a performance by him at number 8. I mean, he plays like number 8. He plays like he's a centre.
Yeah, absolutely. He runs with such grace, such great skills, great hands and patience. This, of course, was a try that
was chalked off.
It was chalked off. Mudariki thought he had scored his hat-trick for the evening, but unfortunately wasn't to be.
It would have been a great opportunity to talk about somebody getting their hat-trick, but no, it wasn't to be. This one again, just not quite going to hands, but Sigake helping himself to 3 tries with great pace, great skills and great footwork. Again, Zimbabwe showing the skills, but that one from Thaddeus Hamata, the ambitious offload out the back of the hand going to ground.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Pete, a few lost opportunities for Zimbabwe this evening. And I guess when they get back to the training pitch, they'll be questioning those, passes that went astray.
And a couple of, nice to see a couple of scrum highlights for the UAE, driving the Zimbabwe players up and away from the ball. One on their own line and one in an attacking position as well.
This is the try, of course, the big lock forward, Drani Bute. And this is what I've got to compliment the UAE on. In the second half, the forwards really set the pace. Gerwe, he was inspirational. So much pace, so much time, and he really punished this UAE defence.
Oh, he did indeed. He was a thorn in their side right from the start, as was this guy. Wonderful feet, great stepping, and away he goes. And he enjoyed that one.
Yeah, he's so quick, and as you mentioned earlier, there's no substitute for pace.
And that was the one over on that far side where he broke through 2-3 tackles, and then the final tackle as it disappeared, and that was his hat-trick. And a spin and a roll from Mudza Kenyedzi as he stuck 5 points on his own aim and an elaborate celebration as well. And we're going to go back to the middle to Gareth.
Well, that's a strong message sent by the African champions to World Rugby. 62-22, the final score over the home side, the UAE. The UAE was strong there in the second half at the beginning, done a lot of hard work, but then a few mistakes, and they gave away a couple of easy tries. What did you make of that, Tara?
Yeah, I think, to be fair, UAE came out in the second half and started off well. They began to dominate in the scrums as well. Their lineouts were cleaned up a little bit, and they adapted well. They put pressure on. There was no score from Zimbabwe for maybe the first 20 minutes of the second half. However, they did capitalise on UAE's mistakes, and then just came a flurry of tries from Zimbabwe. And I think it's hard to come back from that when there's 1, 2, 3, 4, but they still finished well. Penalty try as well, so they'll be happy. There's still some positives that they'll take from this.
Yeah, absolutely. There are plenty of positives to take, and they'll be building now for the next game against Germany on Saturday the 16th. But let's talk about the Sables Zimbabwe for a second. It's all about the Sables today. Edward Sigauke, what about this gentleman on the wing? Fantastic, 3 tries for that man. And Hilton Mudariki as well, the number 9, 2 tries for him as well.
Yeah, I mean, like, you can hear the crowd here, you can see them. They've brought the energy on and off the field today. But yeah, for the 2 guys, that key number 9 as well, Hilton, he's been a captain, absolute leader on the field. But they look to get that ball wide. They know they're danger men, and they really punished, I think, UAE today with just getting into a little bit of space. You cannot give them guys an inch, and they did punish UAE. But fantastic players. You can see the athleticism and professionalism of these guys.
Absolutely, and let's not discount the UAE. There are a couple of good performances there. Andrew Semple in particular had a good day today. He was playing just 3 days ago today. What impact would the Prem season be having on the players' performances today for the UAE?
Yeah, I think like Andrew Semple, the guy started at 9, he ended up playing 10 as well. He just adapted. He did a lot of kicking today, but they need the game time. I guess being involved in the Super Rugby and the Premiership, that just builds these guys physically as well. I know it can be taxing when they've just played at the weekend, but the more the game time, the better. These international tests, these autumn internationals, are fantastic to build a platform on for these guys.
And the Sables just far too much pace today, so they ultimately exposed the UAE on a couple of the tackles there. What will they be focusing on now, the UAE, going into the Germany game?
I think again it'll just be trying to play their structures a little bit better, a little bit patience. I think at times they probably dropped their head a little bit and resorted to maybe just some erratic decisions. Definitely, getting that line speed. I think the pace and intensity was a little bit higher than what UAE would be used to. So I think it's just getting up to that energy and intensity a little bit quicker, because they did adapt and they did get into that pace. But again, it's seeing it out for 80 minutes. That's the key for UAE.
Well, thanks, Tara. Let's have a chat now with the captain, Matt Mills. Matt.
Hi guys, how are you?
Hi Matt. Tough day at the office, but talk me through that performance.
Yeah, I think the Sables, they came out, Zimbabwe came out flying out of the blocks, and they showed a bit of class in the backs. A bit of extra pace that maybe we couldn't handle as much. I feel that we took them on up front. We waited too long to do that in the second half and take them on in the scrum. Their line out was very clinical. We couldn't get near them, but the scrum we had them, and the driving maul, I think we should have maybe used that a bit earlier and kept it a bit tighter. And just too many mistakes from us. We're not clinical enough. Too many missed tackles. And as soon as you miss one or two tackles, the whole process goes to pot sometimes. And hats off to Zimbabwe. They capitalised on our errors big time.
Yeah, and it was a tough start with 2 yellow cards early on, but you adapted well in the second half. There was some positives there in the second half.
Yeah, I think that rough start. I think it was 5 penalties, 6 penalties in the first 10 minutes. Really set us back. The pace of the game caused that, created that. Like I said, the pace that they're playing caused those penalties, not rolling away and not releasing. And yeah, going down to 30 to try and absorb that. It has an effect later on in the game when everyone's done that extra 10-20% for those missing men, and their legs were tired at the end. I hear you mentioned about the league games and things like that, and there's a few boys that have been playing over the last 4 days. So hopefully moving forward into Germany, we can be a bit fresher and put in a performance that we'd be more proud of. Yeah,
and Matt, what would be the things that you'd look to build on now for the next game against Germany? What would be the key areas that you want to look at?
I think we need to play to our strengths a little bit more. We're pretty good up front. We're pretty stable. Scrums, line-outs, play for those penalties. Keep it tight. Germany are a great outfit as well, professional outfit. So we've got to do that we play to our strengths and try and starve them of the ball. We let Zimbabwe have way too much ball today, and they punished us for it.
Yeah. Well, look at regroup again with the boys. Thanks very much for joining us, and best of luck next week against Germany.
Thanks so much.
Matt. Joined here by Hilton, captain of Zimbabwe. Welcome, Hilton. What a performance tonight.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Yeah, it's awesome to be here, and I'm so proud of the guys, the efforts that they put in over the last couple of weeks. Slowly starting to come together. We've been off for a couple of weeks, and guys coming in and out of the team. So to put out a performance like that, very happy.
Yeah, and you dominated that first half. You really came out and you starved, as Matt was saying, you starved UAE the ball. Yeah. You capitalised on all their mistakes. I know they had 2 early yellow cards, but what sort of platform did that set for the first half for you guys?
Yeah, huge. We've always been speaking about starting fast, making sure that we take our chances, because it's been something that we've struggled with over the past couple of years. So starting fast, asserting our dominance within the game, and so proud of the guys in the way that they did that.
Yeah, and just speaking about the second half there, UAE came out, they put a bit of pressure on you guys at the start of the second half, and then the heavens opened up and you went straight under the post a few times. So is that kind of your game plan, is get the fast guys into space and support and start running rugby?
Yeah, no, definitely. We've got some exciting young guys out on the widths, young Trevor Gurue and Eddie on the widths there. So we wanted to get the ball out to them and allow them to express themselves. They've just graduated from the under-20 setup, and that has been going really well. So we want them to come into our setup and just express themselves and enjoy themselves. And I mean, you saw the talent that they have.
Yeah, fantastic work. Great effort tonight, and thank you as well for your support and your energy on and off the field as well. Hilton, thanks very much, and best of luck in your next fixture.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thanks there to Hilton Mudariki, and congratulations to the Sables for a fantastic win today here at the Seven Stadium in Dubai. the UAE team. They'll be looking forward next to the Germany game, which is on Saturday the 16th of November, back here at the Seven Stadium. But Carl, you had the best view up there in the commentary box. What a matchup that was.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic display by Zimbabwe, and a big congratulations to them and their team. But I think the UAE can take a lot of positives out there. I thought the UAE pack, especially scrummaging time, were fantastic this evening, and I think that's ultimately where they'll need to build. They take on Germany in a week's time. I just felt at certain stage of the game UAE's defence, was a bit questionable. But other than that, I think there's enough to take out of this game that they can really go into Germany very, very confident. But not taking anything away from the Zimbabweans. They proved tonight why they're African champions. They showed that there's why they're a professional outfit, and ultimately they came to play tonight. And when they move the ball outside wide, they're so dangerous. They're going to hurt you, and they hurt UAE on a couple of occasions this evening.
Well, absolutely. So that's a wrap from us here today. That's everything from here at the Seven Stadium. But as I said, we're back here live on Saturday, the 16th of November. It's an afternoon fixture, actually, so bring the family. Alcohol-free beer only, of course. 3:30 p.m. kickoff in the afternoon. The UAE versus Germany, all to play for. From myself, Gareth Lewis, Carl van Rosenveld, Tara Cooney, Pete Stapley up in the commentary box. So I think he's down here actually. I think he's with the Sables fans over there playing the drums somewhere. Thanks to everyone at home, and on behalf of the UAE Rugby Federation and Asia Rugby, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Good night.